We're getting to all those things we got coming up in a minute. I'm doing a new kind of streaming. Hopefully this works out the way I want it. But thank you all for joining. I most certainly appreciate you. Bob Mueller's report has come out. Of course, people are triggered. They can't really handle it. They don't know what to do with themselves. It really shouldn't be a controversy around it, but hey, this is where we are. What else we have here? The Ancestry.com ad. People triggered about that. Oh, it's not telling the reality of slavery. What's going on with that whole situation? Also, Charlize Theron, the actress from South Africa, an actual African American, raising her son as a daughter, her adopted son, that is. Why would she do that? Shouldn't this be called child abuse? When I was 3 years old, I thought I was a Ninja Turtle. I thought I was I don't know. I thought I was a little bit of everything. I thought I was an animal, a cartoon character, all kind of stuff. So what's really going on? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank you all for joining 100%. Let me go ahead and get myself up live right here. And thank y'all for being here. Now, I have a new way I'm doing my stream, so I need to just change this over here so you guys will be able to see the chat coming up. Y'all guys give me 1 second. And if you're just now joining, please give me a thumbs up on the video. I definitely appreciate it. Alrighty. Now, let me get this chat box right. And I think we should be good there. Let it set up. There we go. Perfect. Exactly, Ward. Them Superman, all kind of stuff. I thought I was a little bit of everything when I was a little boy, but when you're a boy, that's what you do. You think that you're everything because you're a boy. You're not an adult yet. You don't have the mentality to just come up with some kind of new identification for yourself. Just not really how it goes. Yes, please smash the like button. I'd appreciate it if you did. But this whole thing with the Mueller report, I mean, good grief. What are they really doing? Why is it even why is it even controversial? I really don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, but y'all let me know what y'all think about the whole situation. This guy, Jerry Nadler, Jerry Nadler said back in 1998 that you can't put out redacted information that has to be redacted. I mean, you have to redact certain things in these government documents by law. It's required. But now all of a sudden he's saying that you don't have to do it. It's pretty weird. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. If I can find Nadler talking. Oh, did you guys see that police shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina? People are talking about, oh, this is a miscarriage of justice. I mean, this man was armed and dangerous. Tried to rob somebody at a some kind of store. Like he went behind the actual counter with the gun pointed out. It was a lady in the vehicle. It might have been in the drive-through. He tried to rob her with his gun pointed out. Then when he gets shot and killed by police under questionable circumstances, now all of a sudden they want to say, oh, well, shouldn't have been killed. She needs to get life with no parole. It's like, wait a minute. This person was armed and dangerous. So let's just pump the brakes for a minute. But let me pull up this Nadler video so y'all can see what I see. Okay. Let me see if I can.
Much of this material is Federal Rule 6.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this here. Now, y'all see Nadler. Is that not Peter Griffin or what? And let's see what he says.
Much of this material is Federal Rule 6E material, that is material that by law, unless contravened by a vote of the House, must be kept secret.
Let's run that back because you didn't hear it. Now, this is the same guy that wants to have the whole Mueller report released totally unredacted, although a lot of what's in there must be redacted by law. Let's see what he says again. One more time.
Material is Federal Rule 6E material.
Hold on.
Much of this material is Federal Rule 6E material, that is material that by law, unless contravened by vote of the House, must be kept secret.
We are demanding, and we have a right, Congress has a right to the entire report with no redactions whatsoever.
So that's a pretty big difference, not only in going from looking like Peter Griffin to looking like what's my man's name? The guy that was in Silence of the Lambs. He looks kind of like that guy now, but he looked like Peter Griffin back in the day. But that's a different story. I mean, these people always change their tune. Always. This is a common thing that happens. You know, it is what it is. It's weird. Just like Barack Obama being against gay marriage, and all of a sudden he's for it. I mean, the Democrats, I mean, within, of course, of 6 months, they wanted James Comey to be fired. Then all of a sudden they don't want him to be fired when Trump fires him. Stick to one particular story. How about that? Jerry Falwell, that's correct. Jonestown autopsy. Hannibal Lecter, that's correct. Thank you, Philip Frankowitz. Yes, Hannibal Lecter all day long. But it looks like the actor that played him now. That's kind of how he looks. Pizza the Hut, that is hilarious. During 1804. Yeah. Anthony Hopkins, thank you, Skip Man. That's who I was looking for. It looks kind of like him now a little bit. No insult to my man Anthony Hopkins. The Democrats changed like instantly. It won't even be over a certain period of time. It'll just be right away. If they feel like they need to change, they'll do that. You know, they don't really care too much about anything else. They make up rules. That's correct. Now they're trying to change the electoral college because they can't win. And it'll be hilarious to see them revert back and change back once that is no longer, once that no longer works, then they'll try to change right back. And be like, well, we didn't really mean that, all this, that, and the third. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. We're not trying to hear all the excuses, none whatsoever. And if you're just now joining the stream, please give me a thumbs up. We'll get to the calls a little bit later. I just want to let everybody get in here. Did you guys see the press conference from my man, William Barr? I streamed that live. That was pretty interesting. It was short, sweet, to the point. No collusion, never has been. And now I'm seeing articles from places like CNN where they're saying that it makes Obama look bad because Obama knew about the Russia collusion or the attempts at not collusion. I don't want to say because there ain't no collusion. Obama knew about the Russia attempts to interfere with the election and did nothing about it. Donna Brazile got on TV and said, well, he couldn't have done it anymore because if he did, then it would have been looked at as trying to aid Donald Trump or to aid Hillary Clinton. It makes no sense. Like, the reality is that there was no collusion. There was no interference, really. Not anything more than any other country. See, look, this is on CNN.com, actually. Hold on. Mueller's report looks bad for Obama, if you guys can see it right there. So, I mean, why has this not really been talked about too much in the media? The media keeps trying to dig up straws talking about how it looks bad for Trump. And then they wanted to bring out this thing talking about Trump said, OMG, I'm effed when news of the investigation came about into the Russia situation. There's no, first of all, anybody could say anything, an anonymous source, anybody could say anything. Second of all, was he joking? Was he being sarcastic? I mean, nobody has given any kind of context as to what's going on. And the reality as it stands right now is that he's just fine. The Democrats are just going to keep trying to find more ways to dig down into this and to try to salvage something out of the $30 million they spent. $30 million and you have nothing. Absolutely zero. You getting guys locked up on ticky-tack charges from way back in the day. Nothing of any significance. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Happy Easter to you all. I would say happy 420, but I don't smoke. So if you're involved with that, then go for it. But happy Easter for sure. Happy belated Good Friday. I didn't know until like this year that people celebrated Good Friday as a holiday. You know, I didn't. I thought I know Easter, but I didn't know. I'd heard about Good Friday, but I didn't know that people got off of work for that. I had no idea. Oh, and one more thing that came from the Mueller report was that Ben Carson and HUD, they're talking about evicting people from public housing if they're an illegal immigrant. I say great, fantastic, marvelous, stupendous. I mean, here's the thing about it. You have homeless veterans, all right? Homeless veterans that need those houses. So if I would give somebody preference for housing that needs it, it'd be an American citizen, especially a homeless veteran, rather than somebody that's here illegally. So if you're not here legally, then you should get out. And they're also talking about people that are here that are legal citizens, but they're not citizens. They're here legally, but they're not citizens. Like if you're on a green card, if you have some kind of legal status in the country, but not a citizen, you may also be removed from the public housing. I mean, that should be fair. You got a problem with homelessness right now. I think a way to kind of curb that would be to have certain requirements for the housing. Like, I don't know, maybe be a citizen of the USA. How about that? Be a citizen. You could be an immigrant and be a citizen. That's fine. But if you're not a citizen, I don't care if you're here legally or illegally, then you shouldn't be in public housing. If you're here legally, I assume you have some kind of skill or some kind of something to bring to the table rather than living off the government, because public housing, that's all government funded. So if you're in this country and you're not here legally, then you shouldn't be utilizing these services that citizens need. Because one thing about a lot of these the public housing, sometimes even just low income housing that's income controlled, you on waiting lists. I remember back in the day, I was trying to get this apartment. It was like a townhouse, but it was like an apartment, basically. It was like a 2-floor apartment. And they had a waiting list. It was like 18 people deep on the waiting list to get into one of those apartments that you had to pay like regular rent for, $800 back in the day. So imagine what the waiting lines are like to get into public housing, off the chain. And meanwhile, people just staying with their mom on the street, whatever. And to have a person in there that's illegal, no way, no how. I can't rock with it at all. So thank you to everybody that's here. We got 289 live and growing. Please get a video a thumbs up if you just came here. And if you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe to the video. And if you're not subscribed in general, you might watch me a few times here and there. Go ahead on and just subscribe. That'd be fantastic. I'd appreciate it. Let me see what we got. FKR says, I wonder if there would be a share effect like the Streisand effect. Hey, maybe so. Cher's kind of a flip-floppy kind of person, you know. She'll one day say how she supports what Trump does and then say how much she hates Trump. So it's kind of a weird thing. I don't really think that, you know, she'll have a humongous impact. Unfortunately, she should, though. And shout out to the super chatters right quick. You guys have been great already. Thank you to Will Chase for your donation. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Omar Adams, who says hashtag ABL squad. Smash that like button 100%. He also says you could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. Hashtag ABL. Thank you for that. NF Givens says evict them all. Keep up the great work, ABL. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate you. And who else we got here? Shout out to Jeb Reed, who says April 19th, Happy Battle of Lexington Concord Day, the day that Redcoats came to seize citizens' firearms. Well, hey, that's a very important day. We don't want a repeat of that ever again. And shout out to Philip Fakerwitz, who says evict them all, built the wall. There we go. Hey, that is a great slogan right there. Put it on a t-shirt. Evict them all, built the wall. 1,000%. And you know what? I saw that whole thing about the evictions of illegal immigrants from public housing on this liberal writer's Twitter page. And it was posted like it was a bad thing, but it was hilarious to see all throughout the comments, everybody was like, good, glad, get out. It was hilarious. 100%. Thank you to Scott Billion for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Zodoch's King Sword. My fly boy Blanquito. Do I own weapons? Maybe not. I know I want to get if I want to get certain kinds of weapons, specifically here where I'm at in Tennessee. I'm not really sure what the process is to get my concealed carry or open carry. I want to open carry here. In Virginia, you can open carry with no license. I think you need a license here to open carry. So yeah, I definitely open carry wherever I'm at. If I'm able to go ahead and get that, whatever I need to have, just as long as I get my ducks in the row legally, open carry is where it's at. And you know what? Around here, I see people open carrying. It's not even, people talk about this race element. I see everybody, it's not even, it's about a culture where you live at. The race thing is not even really relevant. And the South, North, whatever, it's all about just the region you in, and you become acclimated to the particular culture of that region. That's what you need to do if you are from a different country. Just, become ingratiated with American society, assimilate into the culture. What the Rome do is Romans. That's pretty much how I'm going to carry it with my weapons. Yeah, I will go to a range, Ali, for 100%. There's a range in North Georgia that wants me to come there, and I'm going to go for sure. So shout out to them. I'm going to try to get to them soon. Let me see. Jonestown Autopsy says ABL Maxine Waters feet versus Tulsi Gabbards. I think I'll pass. I'm not really sure what I'm going to see there. I think I'm good money, but thank you, though. Thank you to Chrissy Carter for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. You guys have been great already. Hey, Cindy, some people like to smoke. That's fine. I don't really get upset. It is what it is. Joshua Sauce L says, I just got back from the shooting range just now. We took some millennials, the first time shooting. We left proud. Hey, that's how you got to get them early. Get them acclimated with guns. That's how you do it, for sure. When I was a kid, like, I had like a BB gun. It was like a regular gun, like just a regular kind of like a 9mm style handgun. The way it was shaped and the way it looked. Yeah. And before that, I shot a rifle when I was like 8, 9 years old. That's how you get familiar with guns. And then you graduate from there and go more into just the regular firearms, understand gun safety early. My cousin told me, don't even play with a BB gun. Don't try to shoot it when you're not supposed to, even if it doesn't have anything in it. Gun safety is very important. So I learned all that from a young age. AR-10 becoming popular again as well. Now, is that becoming popular because it's not an AR-15? You can still have the same brand, but just a different type of weapon, and you won't get a bunch of grief for it. Like, I don't know why the AR-15 especially is just so singled out. Like, people want to say, oh, abolish the AR-15. Okay, I can get a rifle that does basically the same thing without all the extra little stuff on it. I mean, it's a rifle. It's a long rifle. I mean, what is a real big deal about it? Every gun is always loaded. That's 100% correct, Ski Man. That's what I learned when I was like 9 to 10 years old. Well, I learned that before then, but I learned it firsthand when I was that age. When I had my gun, I was told, it was always loaded. Even a BB gun. AR-10 for reloading. Okay, I got you. Now, the gun spot close to where I live, they do custom weapons. I mean, they're beautiful. If I could pull them up, hold on. But the guns are just works of art. It's like you don't even really want to shoot it. You just want to, you just kind of want to have it up in your house, like on the wall or something. That's what you want to do with it. If I could, I probably can't even find them. But yeah, shout out to Bukake. Some of these names I can't read. Y'all are wearing me out. But shout out to Tsunami who says, "Don't tell Skittles you're headed to Georgia. She's going to come looking for you." Nah, it's all good. I mean, I live in Tennessee, which is not far from Georgia, but you're not going to find me. And if you do find me and you don't meet me good, then hey, I think that people should just leave everybody alone if they don't want to be bothered. There you go. SOBC, pardon me, says, enter my house at your own risk. Second Amendment protected 1000%. That's why I love America, because we got all these rights here. Second Amendment, First Amendment, and people trying to take them from us. That's not really going to end too well. Jared Reed says concealed carry in society is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one has the 1911 and what keeps everyone out. And that keeps everyone honest. Great work, ABL. Thank you for that. That is a great way to look at it, because you never know what somebody has or what kind of firepower. You never know. So don't touch people. Don't mess with people, because you might get an unpleasant surprise. 1000%. Yeah, let everybody be. I'm all about peace, but if it has to be war, then that's it. Now I flip into a whole different person. The play button in the middle of the chat. I don't know anything about the play button in the middle of the chat. Does the chat box look anything different to you guys? Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully everything's still good. Because I did change the way I set up my stream just a little bit because of the backend YouTube stuff. So hopefully everything's still the way it's supposed to be. Oh, that 45. That's that firepower, right? That's the elephant stopper right there. I like having like a 9mm. It's more. It's easier to use, even for those that may not be able to use guns. Like a friend of mine said, if you have guns for self-defense at home, the 9 would be good if you got kids, like teenagers or like 11, 12 years old that may need to use it. They can get around with it versus a 4.5 that'll pretty much blow them all the way back. If also for women, yeah. It's a little bit. It's more than what a 22. That's like a pea shooter. You don't want that. I mean, you can get by with a 22 handgun, but a 9mm probably be better, and a 4.5 might be a little bit too much. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a 45 myself. Yeah, I think I heard about that. The thing about different services is that you got to build up a platform over there. So it's not as if you PewDiePie, you can build up a platform wherever you go because you're the biggest star on YouTube. PewDiePie is the face of YouTube. So wherever he does and wherever he goes, he's going to have a big following behind him because of who he is. That's just kind of how it's going to go. Desert Eagle, good grief. Man, hey, I saw one of those. That's a story that I can't even really tell right there. But all that I know is that somebody that I know had one of those and he almost brandished it on somebody else I know. I was like, man, please don't, please put that away now. I mean, this gun was like this big. I mean, the gun was, it looked like something you see in the video game. That thing was humongous. He had two of them. He had shoulder holsters with 2 Desert Eagles. I was like, man, you need to put them away, man. Don't put them on this guy. He's sorry. He didn't mean to do it. But yeah, I can't even tell that story. I can't name no names or nothing like that. All right. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see what they try to do with gun control. Did you guys see that Time Magazine Top 100? They had the Prime Minister of New Zealand in there as the top 100 influential people 2019. And they put her in there really because of the whole gun control thing. After the New Zealand shooting, she banned all so-called semi-automatic weapons, which is pretty much just all guns. She banned all of them. That's why she was in there at that particular point in time. All right. LB says, hi, ABL. Thank you for all your work. Al Bell in that house. When I was a child, my grandfather always kept a loaded shotgun by the kitchen door. I was never afraid or thought of anything bothering Athens, Tennessee. Shout out to Athens. Yes, that's how you got to do it. Keep it right there. Yeah, I know guys that keep the shotgun right by the door. Yeah, like a broom. Like, you might have the broom right by the door, shotgun right there, just leaned up against the wall. That's how you do it. Yeah, he was very sorry. He was very sorry seeing that big. I mean, that thing was like this, man. It was humongous. But thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. We'll get to the phone calls in just a moment. Please give me a like on the video, thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. There should be a red button beneath me. Click on that red button to subscribe. And if you've not clicked the bell, click the bell as well. And when you click the bell, it should go from red to gray. It should be some little things on it. Look like kind of like parentheses. Make sure that's clicked so whenever I go live or post a new video, you're able to get notified. That's probably the best way to go about that there. Knoxville, Tennessee, represent. Shout out to Knoxville. Yeah, I've been through Knoxville, Athens, all that good stuff. Shout out to all those places. To the north of me. Yeah, left coast is crazy. Some of the gun control laws over there, they're talking about regulating ammunition. Just ridiculous stuff. Just trying to get around the Second Amendment. But it shall not be infringed. So what's really going on? All right. Let me see what else we got here. Give me 1 second, you guys, and thank you all for joining. Let's go ahead and get to the calls. I think we can do that. Oh, if you guys are in Dallas, Texas, there's a Blexit rally coming up next Saturday. So that's going to be not Saturday, pardon me. That's going to be next Sunday, the 28th. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Let me just make sure that's right. Okay. And that is going to be, hold on. Blexit Dallas. I think it's already sold out, but you might be able to get in there still. That's going to be Sunday, April 28th at 3 p.m. Central. That's going to be at the Southside Ballroom in Dallas, Texas. So I think that's like downtown. Yeah, so that's going to be fantastic. You're going to have Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, Rod Smith, David Harris Jr., Will Witt, and a lot more. Plus some announcements are going to be there as well. And they sold out pretty quick. They sold out like within the first 3 or 4 days. So that's going to be good. But like I said, even if it is sold out, you still may be able to go and be on the outside and, standing room only or something like that. So definitely Dallas, Texas, next Sunday, April 28th, they're going to be in there. So y'all check it out. Wow. Benjamin Barberneck says, the time I quit carrying, I got shot. Wow. Well, that tell you right there, you got to keep that thing on you. That kid says Florida needs a Blexit. Florida, yeah. I'm going to tell them to go to Florida. I think the upcoming dates are in Memphis, Chicago, back to DC, but I'm not sure about Florida. That should be on the thing there for sure. I'm gonna tell them to go to Florida, go to Miami. Like what's like where should we go? Miami or Jacksonville or Orlando? Like what's the best place for a Blexit rally? I'm thinking Miami, but probably Jacksonville might be better. I don't know. You guys let me know. And if it's gonna be Jacksonville, I think Atlanta will probably be good. Well, Atlanta, definitely. You need one in Atlanta for sure. And Jacksonville ain't that far from the A, probably about 3-4 hours. So you guys let me know how that's going to be, and we'll see what we can do there. DC, yeah, it's going to be a Blexit rally in DC, SOBC. That's already been announced, but the actual time and date hasn't been announced. Tallahassee, Orlando, yeah, Atlanta. I'm pushing for Orlando. I'm seeing a lot for Orlando. Wow, I'm seeing 3 for Orlando, 4 for Orlando. Okay, few for Tallahassee. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Miami's Cuban, so it's like I don't know if that's really gonna work. Nevada. Yeah, Orlando. That's what I'm hearing. Galveston, Texas. Well, they're going to Dallas. So I'm not sure how far Galveston, Texas is from Dallas. Because I think Galveston is like close to Houston. So I'm not really sure how far that is. Probably like 3 hours. Harlem. New York, Blexit would be nice. They already did Richmond, Uncle Rich. I was at the Richmond one, and that was last month. I was at that one. That was a good one. Florida, it was a red state this past election in 2016, but it's a swing state. It could easily go back to being Democrat. Hey, there is a Latino exit, and shout out to my man, Conservative Mexican. He's doing that over there in California. So that already exists. The Latino exit movement already exists. I don't know. Oakland might be a little dangerous, Nico, because San Francisco, Oakland, I mean, the liberals up there might not really want that. But we're going to see what we can do. A lot of us are already over there. You got David Harris Jr. over there. My man, Will Johnson is over there. Mason Lucas is in L.A., so they can get up to Oakland or San Francisco Bay Area. Shout out to Manchild 083 from the BX. Shout out to the Bronx. Yeah, I saw that, LB. He was at UAB in Birmingham, kicked off a campus. They said it was because he was like unruly or something like that, but I think it was because of his message. It was his message. He had on the MAGA hat, and they didn't like that too much. People got kind of upset. Shout out to Eric Robinson, who says ABL got to shoot an eagle and a 500 mag. Hey, I'll be going to one of these ranges that's kind of a specialty type spot. So if they got that in there, hey, I'll shoot some stuff for real. I definitely would get into some, into some real shooting. All right, let me go ahead and turn the phone lines on. Hopefully my Skype does what it's supposed to do, because y'all know how much I love Skype. It's the best program on planet Earth. Does whatever it wants. But let's see if we can go ahead and get it rolling. Okay, now it wants to install something, as usual. San Antonio needs to Lexit. And they're going to Dallas next week. And San Antonio, I know it's not that close. But maybe we could do a few different stops. You can go to Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Maybe even to Austin. Nippin, what's going on? Everything's good, man. We got a little bit of background noise there, boss.
Yeah, I was listening to some PJW while waiting for you to go live.
Alrighty. So what's going on, man?
Not much. What was going on last week? I wanted to finish about a few things that we did last week before I get on to this week's things.
All right, but go for it. What's on your mind?
The Times magazine. You said that it's something in 30 seconds that didn't exactly register into my mind.
Now, what happened now? You said Times magazine. What happened?
Yeah.
What about it? Now, you're talking about the top 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have you seen about that since last time we talked?
No.
Okay, now what it was the top 100 most influential people of 2019.
Where does Donald Trump rank among them?
Well, it wasn't like a rank by order by number. It was just a list of people. Like it was no number beside anybody. But it was interesting because of who was in the list and who was not in the list. Trump was in the list, but they didn't. But they also had Christine Blasey Ford in the list.
Why? She's a fraud. She's a fraud.
It was weird because they also had Brett Kavanaugh on the list. So I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? I don't understand the methodology behind these people, but
at least they're recognizing both sides of the party.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes. and they had Xi Jinping on the list, but they didn't have Vladimir Putin. That's pretty interesting.
Well, they're both dictators.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're gonna have Xi Jinping, why not Vladimir Putin? I don't understand. But hey, it is what it is.
Funnily, they're both communists too.
Well, not quite Vladimir Putin, but more Xi Jinping.
Vladimir Putin is not a fascist.
Well, he's not. Is he a communist though? I'm not sure if that's right.
He's not a fascist. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I think Xi Jinping is kind of weird. They have kind of a communist system, but it also has capitalism in it. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, and you were talking about doing a tour, a Turning Point USA tour. Maybe I could suggest a few areas you could come to in England. London is a no-go zone, especially central London, for conservatives.
Okay, why you say that?
Well, London has become so liberal. The east part of London is it's basically almost little Pakistan.
Okay.
East London, everywhere you go. Well, there are Indians there as well, so Sikhs, Hindus, but there are a lot of Pakistanis there as well. Like you'll have a lot. There's a mosque literally every 5 miles in East London.
Now, is there anywhere in London or close to London that has kind of a conservative base?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm actually going to send it into chat, into the live stream. So yeah, I'll send it into the live stream after I'm over. But there's an area called Maidstone, which is about 50 miles from central London.
Okay.
In Kent. Kent is one of the most conservative areas in the UK.
Sounds good to me.
Have you heard of Kent?
No, I haven't.
You have states. Canada has territories.
Yeah.
The UK has counties.
Well, we have counties too. We have counties in the States.
No. What states are to you, counties are to us.
Okay, so like in the county, do you have like separate things aside from the county? Because we got the USA, then we got states, then we got counties, then we got towns, townships, cities in the county.
No. It's just counties, and then there's towns and cities and villages.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So yeah, there's Kent. That's quite a conservative area. And I believe, like if you go to Essex, have you heard of a place in the UK called Essex?
I've heard of that before, yes.
They're rather conservative too.
Okay.
And even some areas in outer London are rather conservative as well.
Right.
Like there's Romford. A lot of UKIP supporters there. There's
how about Luton?
You mean, correction, Lutonistan.
Yeah, because somebody in the chat said that. I figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, do not go to Luton if you're a conservative.
Right.
Yeah, because then they'll just be, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-go zone, huh?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Oh, I stand corrected. Canada has provinces. Thanks, Lisa Jean.
Okay.
Sorry. Yep. And Charlize Theron. What of her?
She says that her son identifies as a girl, and he is like 5, I think.
What?
Yeah, because she said that when he was 3 years old, he identified as a girl, so she's raising him as a girl. And also, this is an adopted son that came from Africa. So it's just really weird. You know, I think that that's like child abuse because the thing about it is, when I was a little boy, I said that was all kind of things. I said it was a superhero, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. That doesn't mean that I'm supposed to be raised as Spider-Man. My name is still Anthony. I'm supposed to be raised properly by my parents. That's how I was raised.
You can identify as Thomas the Tank Engine for all I care, but you'll never be raised as a train.
I'm not a train. I'm not.
Yes, someone could say, yeah, I'm Thomas from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Right. Exactly. Anybody, you could say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just
exactly
somebody. It's just a little kid talking.
Yeah, it says, I see Nippon's dad has fixed the smoke detector. Now, I don't know what he has done because I don't deal with those things, but I think they meant my headphones.
Nah, because there's a beeping noise in the background of your house. That's a smoke detector going off because
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, but you probably used to it, but I hear it. It's a beeping noise, and what's happening is the smoke detector doesn't have a battery in it, or the battery is low and needs to be replaced.
Okay. Yeah. Then there's the Ancestry ad. I saw it on your thumbnail, but I didn't quite get around to it.
All right, I'm gonna say this one, then I gotta get to a few more calls. The Ancestry.com ad. Well, actually, it was Ancestry.ca because it was for Canadians. The ad, it had a white man and a black woman. This was like during the antebellum South, like towards the end of slavery, but still during slavery. And he presented her with a ring, like a wedding ring, and it was like, we can escape, we can be together in a place up north beyond the border, which means north of the United States into Canada. And that was the whole thing. People got mad because they were saying that they're trying to romanticize slavery and they're trying to have the white savior thing. And, they should have shown her being beat up and raped. But maybe, just maybe, during slavery time, some people got together in a consensual relationship that were of different races. Just maybe.
It's possible.
I mean, it happened. I mean, because not everybody was in the same situation. Things were different back then. People just
there were black slave owners too during that time.
It wasn't even the fact that the person was a slave owner. It could have been a regular farmhand. A white guy could have been a regular farm. Like you said, you had black slave owners.
Could have been a regular white person wanting to end slavery.
That's right, because you had abolitionists, people that had the Underground Railroad. Most of the Underground Railroad people were white people that had their houses open to runaway slaves. So, I mean, those things did happen. People's great-grandparents could have been, could have conceived their ancestors because of that whole situation.
Wow.
All right. But
and the Mueller Report which has been finally released.
It has been released, but we kind of out of time right here. We at like 11 minutes, so I got to get to a few more calls, Nippon.
Okay, yeah. Can you tell me about that when I speak to you on Thursday?
All right, the Mueller Report, it's kind of a long thing, but it's released. William Barr, their Attorney General, had a press conference, and the media is not really accepting it. They're still triggered. They still want the Mueller Report to show what they wanted, which was some kind of Russian collusion, although there is none. And they want the whole thing to be released totally unredacted, even though that's not legal. But I got to get to some more, man. So I'll talk to you about that on your time Thursday, but my time Wednesday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Alrighty.
It was nice speaking to you.
Always, man. Thank you for the call.
Peace.
Peace. Sorry about that. I forgot I got to turn that off. So RIP headphone users, because I got headphones on too, and that killed me. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the sound. Y'all give me 1 second. Thanks, Snippet, for the call, and thank you all who are listening. All right, there we go. 269, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Well, it's Kirk Plunk. What's going on, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Not too much. I come semi-prepared today. How you been?
Everything's been great, man. About yourself?
All right, yeah. I just got done listening. I was listening to Nipping a little bit. I can't really dial and watch you at the same time. But he's right. London is a hot item there as far as the internet's go. Got Sargon Avocado. You know who he is, yeah?
Yeah.
He's doing more educational stuff now. He had a person yesterday. He just did a video. Had someone explaining how England got to where it's at and where it's going and where it might be headed and the reason. You know, he had some professor lady on there yesterday for like an hour and a half. I listened to it. Very educational. So
that's good.
I'd recommend that. Shout out to that Sargon Avocado. Yeah, that's the hot item. That Ancestry.com thing you had going on. You had it. Was it this morning or yesterday? I can't remember.
Yesterday.
All my days are yesterday. Yeah. What was your whole take on it? Was it why is it left angry about that ad?
Because they're saying that it says that it romanticized slavery and that it was not really showing the reality of it, and it also showed the white savior complex. But I'm getting a little bit of feedback in the background, so I can hear myself in the speaker.
Oh, I have my headphones on.
Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Okay, I can turn the volume down a little bit. It is kind of blaring here. So I thought maybe it was because maybe it wasn't violent enough because it seemed like a decent ad for me personally.
But see, the ad was decent and it was tasteful, but people wanted to have the violence because they want to hold on to the whole victimhood card. If they can't, if you don't show the violence, if you don't show just a black person back then just being beat to death or something, then they can't use the whole victimhood narrative all the time. And then people don't want to accept in the black community that some of their ancestors could have been conceived that way through a black person and a white person getting together voluntarily.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, point taken. I'll give them that one. Yeah, they probably would want something like that so they can have a moral high ground, I guess, maybe. My grandmother came here from Mexico. She was a migrant worker, worked in the fields. And my grandfather, he was a worker in the fields too, and they met, fell in love, and had my dad, years later. But so I can see that happening. That kind of like I can identify with that commercial the way I saw it. So did they pull the commercial?
Yeah, they pulled it and apologized too.
Oh my god, that's this world coming to. Oh my gosh,
it was crazy.
Oh man, oh jeez. So that's for Canadian TV. They have hate speech laws in Canada. You can't really. They don't have a First Amendment like we do here. So,
but see, I think that was I think the outrage came more from Americans that were seeing it because it went viral online. It wasn't like a bunch of Canadians were like, "Oh, take it off the air." It wasn't like that. It was more about people that are in America, in my opinion.
Well, people in Canada are kind of passive to begin with, which is why they have Justin Trudeau, I suppose.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. They're passive anyway, so they just kind of go with it and like, yeah, whatever, eh? So, yeah, I don't want to be culturally appropriative. Yeah, what's going on with this other thing you had going on? Charlize Theron, she got a son-daughter? Or what's the deal with that?
Charlize Theron, the actress, her adopted son from Africa, I guess decided at 3 years old that he wanted to be a girl. I'm not sure how that happens, but she pretty much is allowing it, putting him in dresses and all kind of just weird stuff. So she is raising her son as a daughter.
Wow. See, yeah, my sister thought back in the day, she did I think she did that Burning Bed. Did you see that a long time ago?
The what now?
She did a movie or made for TV movie called The Burning Bed.
Never heard of it.
Oh, she was in I think one of the first things that was on Lifetime where her husband was abusive and she waited till he fell asleep and set him on fire.
Wow. Nah, I never seen that.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, that was back in the 90s when Lifetime first came on. It was like one of the first things I said, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah,
You know?
that's not really. Yeah, but that's Lifetime. They
Those-
got them long movies with kind of a violent streak in a scorned woman. That's kind of like the theme of all Lifetime movies. They're pretty much interchangeable.
yeah, kind of like male. I call it the male bashing channel.
Correct.
So yeah, it's good. So it kind of sums it up. And I don't want to watch that. It's pretty sad. It's pretty violent. It's probably violent. I don't want to see that. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What else you got on your headline there?
I don't know.
Covered that. All right. Well, anyways, just thought I'd shout out, and there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I know there was another point I wanted to make, but I'll be dogged if I can't find my my chalkboard.
Oh, that's all good,
It's
man.
around here somewhere. Yeah, Kerplunk Studios is upside down right now. I got to get this all fixed up.
No doubt, man. Boy, thank you for the call as always,
All
man.
right.
Definitely appreciate you.
All right, I got nothing but love for you. Everybody out there, mash on them like buttons and share it up on social media. Oh, I do know what I wanted to make a point of. I seen your comment section has a lot of we'll just say left leaning people in it, and it's starting to pick up, and they're starting to get they know about you.
Well, hey, that's good. I want them to keep watching.
Yeah.
And maybe they get this red pill and turn life around, get right.
Well, it's just that they seem to be moderates. They're kind of like open to discussion. That's what I've noticed, though.
Hey, I like
So
that. That's good. I want more
healthy
of that.
Healthy discourse is always good. Yes, it is.
That's right.
We need to reach across and get these cringy commies out of here.
Pretty much.
All right. All right. You have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, ABL. Peace.
Peace. All right. Thank you to Kerplunk for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody that's out there watching me. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And the number is always in the description box. Also, right here in the ticker, it'll come up at a certain point in time. Again, that is 434-658-1220. All righty. Let me go ahead and get to my next call. 240. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Darius from Maryland.
All righty. What's going on?
All right, brother. How you doing?
Everything is good, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, no Russia collusion, like we all knew for the past 2 years. It's just amazing how the Democrats they pushed that for so long, and we all knew that it didn't go down like that. And now everybody's exonerated. Everyone that's conservative, the president, everybody's exonerated. They don't have nothing to say now. So that's a good thing on that.
Well, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Nah, but see, they shouldn't have anything to say, but they're still trying to make up stuff. But I think at this point, if they say anything, just a regular person watching it that is not totally biased to the left will know they're lying, because we seen that the attorney general came out and said there's no collusion. The investigator Mueller did not recommend any kind of criminal penalty or anything like that. So there is no collusion, there's no corruption, there's none of that. Matter of fact, I saw an article on CNN that says that there could be more that points towards Barack Obama being involved with some kind of collusion or corruption during this whole situation than Trump. So it is what it is.
Yep, I agree. And on the other hand, I want to talk about the border. I saw today that there was the left are complaining about the militia being down there detaining those 300 migrants or whatever, but they're American citizens. We all have the right to defend the United States of America, point blank and period. These are people that are not American citizens coming into our country that shouldn't be here whatsoever. And they're complaining that, these people can't walk around with guns and all. No, these are American citizens. They have the complete right to walk around that border, their state, and defend their home, their country, their state. And you have the governor of Nevada, governor of Nevada, New Mexico, saying that, we can't have these militia down here doing that. Like, who are you? Who are you to tell American citizens they can't defend their homes or their borders, their country? And on that, like, I'm completely done with this border thing. Like, I think President Trump should just federalize active duty orders, the National Guard, because I'm in the military, the National Guard, I was active duty, now I'm National Guard, active duty orders, and send us down there. 200,000 of us, like if we're going to overseas. I mean, we've been fighting a global war on terrorism for 19 years, and I don't want to hear no Democrat talk about, oh, the money or anything like that. No. Send us down there, because the Border Patrol, in their statement yesterday, said that they're low on officers. If they had 200,000 officers to patrol the border, it wouldn't have this problem. That's why I say federalize us, bring us all down there. And because the reason why is if you just send us down there like they did before, like Trump did it before, he sent us down there, and all the soldiers that went down there, they didn't have any weapons because the state governors sent them down there without any weapons. And I was like, what? Because I'm an infantryman. There's no way, like, my whole job is close with and destroy the enemy and use my weapon. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a military police, MP, nothing like that. So if Trump does it again, he needs to activate the National Guards and do a rotation. Send Maryland National Guard, activate them. Send Texas and all of them, they're already talking about just saying screw it and activating everybody in their state, their militia, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of it. Because it's crazy down there. You got people coming in with diseases that the United States have gone away with a long time ago, like tuberculosis, and I've even heard about Ebola cases down there and stuff like that. Like, we don't want these problems, these diseases and stuff coming in here. And then the crime, and you got people from other countries like China and other places coming in through the border as well. We don't need these problems.
Exactly. I mean, people don't think about it like that. People that are against the wall and they're against the border security, they just look at it from a real emotional point of view and a real surface level point of view. They say, oh, you're against brown people. That's why you want to have the border wall. It's like, it's not even about that. It's about protecting our country. When you have a lock when you have a lock on your front door, alarm on your door, the Ring camera, all kind of security measures, when you have all that on your house, nobody says, oh, it's because you don't want to have brown folks come in and take your stuff. It's not even about that. It's about protecting your home from whatever threat may be out there. You have no idea who will come through that southern border. Like you said, it could be some Chinese people that come from Mexico, people that come from Europe, Africa, anywhere. They said that in 1 year at the border, they caught 400,000 people from 150 countries. They even caught a white Canadian at the southern border trying to get in illegally. So, it's not a game, and it should be treated seriously.
Yeah. And another thing, I think it was, they just reported on, I saw on Fox News, that I think it was last week, the Mexican soldiers that was down there pointed their weapons at U.S. troops that were down there because they thought they were on the Mexican side of the border. So hold on a second. You can point your weapons at U.S. soldiers, but you can't handle those caravans coming from your southern border because they don't care. They want them to come to the southern border. And it's embarrassing worldwide when it's like, okay, we're the United States, we are all over the place, but we can't control our own southern border. Like,
right.
Come on now.
Exactly.
And it's not the Republicans. It's not Trump's fault. He's doing everything he can to, but the Democrats, they just, this is nothing going on down at the border. And then all of a sudden now it's a national crisis. But didn't you just say it was fake and none was happening? Like, oh my God, I can't believe these Democrats. It's ridiculous.
I'm with you on that, man. But I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate you too, guys.
All right, now take care.
You have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. A lot of great points that were made right there. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Cordelia. How are you?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, no problem.
I'm a longtime listener. I really love your show. I love seeing your videos on RT. Oh my goodness, you do such a good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But anyway, I wanted to just talk about previously what your previous caller, from what I'm seeing, was talking about in regards to border security.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something that was just so crazy today. This citizen in San Diego and San Diego County recently, he lives right on the border, and I can send you the video. I know that we're on delay right now, but it was just absolutely nuts. He's been, I guess, back and forth. People have been coming into his property. Not only that, Mexican police have been showing up on his property. He's reported to the DEA, reported to the FBI, to local law enforcement. They come and they go. But more recently, he reported, I guess, to the DEA, there was what smelled like, I guess, a meth lab going.
Mm-hmm.
And he could smell it like a few miles away. I guess that someone from the DEA told him, if you smell that smell, that's, I think it was like an ammonia smell or something like that.
Yeah.
And the Mexican army, shortly after he reported that, and I could send you the link to the video, showed up on his property, cut through his chain link fence. Yeah. And threatened him.
Oh, no.
Disarmed him actually, and threatened him. Yeah. And to me, I don't know. I don't understand how that could happen, how you could report it. I don't understand how that's not an aggressive act, at the very least an act of war.
I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, so the Mexican, okay, let's back up a little bit here. The guy that reported what appeared to smell like a meth lab, this is an American citizen in America?
Yep, in San Diego County.
And he reports it to who? The United States authorities?
Yep, to the DEA.
So after that, Mexican authorities come to his home and threaten him?
Yes. I'll send you the link right now. It's absolutely nuts, because I don't know how it's not being reported on more mainstream sites. It's absolutely nuts to me. I watched it today, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's on... let's see real quick. I apologize here. But I guess the guy's basically become a vigilante at this point. I guess he's classified as a vigilante, right? Because he has to be armed. He's actually built his own wall around his property. It's just absolutely nuts. I don't understand how that could happen on American soil.
Yeah,
no one talks about it.
Yeah, I mean, they may try to call him a vigilante, but I mean, who else? Why wouldn't you build some kind of protective barrier on your property when that happens to you? I mean, it's like that'd be kind of a logical thing to do.
Oh, of course, yeah, and be armed. I guess in California, though, the laws, I don't really know how much they benefit you when it comes to guns. I'm sending the link in the live chat right now.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'll look into it. I thank you for that. So I might even do a video one if I have enough to do it. I'll definitely take a look for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really love your show. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Thank
you for
the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good night.
All right. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. That's something else. And caller, if you're not able to put the link in the chat, I just remembered that when I hung up. If you're not able to put the link in the chat, what you can do is send it to my email address. That is contact@anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. I put it right here in the chat. Because I forgot that I think people can't post links in the chat if they're not a moderator or if they're not me. Alrighty, but let's get to some more calls here. And thank you all for calling. If you are just now coming into the actual show, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. It helps me out tremendously. Alrighty, let's get to the next one. Okay, I have somebody. Y'all just bear with me now. Hold on. I'm gonna try to get everybody on as soon as I can. I had somebody that looked like they had been on for a while. I'm gonna try to get to them. In the meanwhile, thank y'all for being here. I'm reading the chat a little bit. A Daily Beast article. Okay. Oh, Daily Beast? Really? Now, the Daily Beast, that's a leftist publication. Unless it's the Daily Wire, that's like Ben Shapiro. But Daily Beast, that's the left. So that's pretty interesting that they will have something like that up. Okay, let me see here. Now, something on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, ABL. It's Lisa from Brooklyn. How are you?
Oh, everything is great. How about yourself?
I'm very happy, ABL, that this thing came out with Trump and they found no Russia collusion. I'm elated. I'm ecstatic. I have to tell you something. But the only thing that's really bothering me is like what the two callers before this, the gentleman said about the illegal immigrants. Now that they're in, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. How are we going to get them out?
Well, that's a good question. I think one thing would be if people get pulled over and they don't have any kind of identification, then that could be a red flag right there. And if they are found out to not be a citizen, get them out that way. People that commit crimes. But aside from that, there's not a whole lot you can do, because if they're here and they're kind of under the table, they're not making any kind of noise, it's hard for you to even know who they are. Because one thing that is debated about is the number of illegals in the country. Some say it's like 11 million. Some say 30 million. We really don't even know how many are actually in the country. And then you have the whole thing about people overstaying their visas and all that. So it's going to be hard. The best way would be if anybody comes in contact with the law, get them out that way. Because at that point, once you come in contact with the law, you're able to determine what's going on with them. Do they have any kind of outstanding warrants? Are they here legally? That should be how you do that. And then prevent them from coming over the border at all to stop the flow of illegal immigrants. That'll probably be the best bet to go about the whole situation.
But what about the ones that are coming in right now? And, how are we going to get rid of them? How are we going to, send them back? That's the whole thing. I feel like Trump should have, someone said he should have called martial law and shut the border down like he said he wanted to do. And maybe if he would have did that, these people would have never came in the first place. But, I mean, it's too late now. But what I'm saying is, now that they're here and they're still coming in, I mean, how do we stop this? I mean, it's getting crazy.
I mean, the best way would be to do the whole thing about got to build the wall up, build a physical barrier. And also, they're coming here a lot of times for the benefits, for the welfare benefits. One thing that I liked that was revealed in the whole Mueller report was that they're trying to evict anybody that's not a legal citizen in government housing, public housing. So if they can't get Section 8, EBT, WIC, all that good stuff, then that's going to be a deterrent from them coming in the first place. Because a lot of them come only for the benefits. I heard somebody on camera and an illegal say, if you in the benefits, we go home. That's pretty much what you got to do. So tighten down on that welfare and them free goodies to get them out. Because if they're at the house just living off of food stamps and they can't anymore, why stay here?
Yeah, you have a point there, because some of them could just get jobs like from people like, in construction or like in a bakery or something like that. Because I don't want to say exactly where I live, but there's a few bakeries, one down the block from me and in my neighborhood. And they have a lot of, I don't know if they're Mexicans or whatever they are, but they're, not here legally, I'm sure, because they're working there. And these are the only people that they have working there, making the bread, the pastries and all this stuff like that, and running, the shop. And I'm sure these people are not citizens, but yet they have them there. So now these people are employing them, and they're paying them, and, they're making money. So maybe they might not be living in Section 8, but maybe they can afford to get an apartment or something. I mean, I don't know. It's really hairy. I mean, a lot of people, because I live in New York, a lot of people want to turn them in, but there's always people that want to protect them and stuff like that. I mean, it's just like a revolving door. You do something and then more come in. It's horrible, you know?
I'm with you. I hear you.
And like when Trump said about the sanctuary cities, my heart broke because, a lot of people don't want them here. They really don't. But there's no way of us getting rid of them. I mean, the mayor, he's a lunatic. You heard about he wants to stop plastic bags and everything. Now it's forks and knives. Who knows what the next thing is going to be? The governor is like killing babies, and he just gave himself a raise from $170,000 to $250,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
The bridge went up. The Verrazano Bridge is the most expensive bridge in United States. Can you imagine a most expensive bridge? So what does that mean? That all the trucks that have to pass by to come over to bring their wares like food and whatnot, they have to pay that toll. That means everything goes up. And same thing in Manhattan. When they have to go through that certain like area, they have to pay too. I mean, like, the cost of living is going to go sky high, and you wonder why people are leaving? I mean, like, give me a break.
Right. It's pretty clear why they're leaving. I mean, you can't afford it to live. It's just too much.
It's a sad state of affairs, and the only people that can live here are the people on Section 8 because they get that benefit card, and they're able to buy food for free, and their rent is low. Everybody else has got to pay, through the nose. So it's horrible. I mean, it's I don't know what's going to happen. I just take it a day at a time. But like I said, I see a lot of new faces every day, every month. I mean, it's like they're coming in fast and furious, and it's terrible. And they're coming up here because, like you say, if he does stop the benefits, maybe that's a deterrent and they'll leave. And that's about the only thing that will make them leave. You know what I'm trying to say to you is they can't get on there.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
I pray to God he does. That's all I have to say, because if he does, then that's the only way that, to get them out, because, I mean, I don't think that they could afford to live on whatever money, that they get. I mean, the rents here are a lot of money. I mean, you ask for 3 rooms, $1,300. That's a lot of money for 3 rooms. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, that's a whole lot of money. But I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, listen, I want to wish you a happy Easter to you and your family, and many blessings.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Same to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, and happy Easter to you all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. How many we got? We got 327, 333 concurrent. Good money. And if you don't know the number to call is 434-658-1220. Happy Easter to all. I don't smoke, so I can't say nothing about no 420. But let me go ahead and get to my next one here. I'm going to try to get everybody on the line as soon as I can, so y'all just hang tight. Okay. 6172, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Ivan.
All righty, Ivan, what's going on?
What's going on? Couple of things. One is about, I think the lady, I mean, she's still on the line. I don't know if it's, I think she has not so much knowledge about illegal immigrants. They say that they when they come here, they get benefit. It's not true. That's not true.
I mean, okay, so if it's not true, then why is there a directive from the Trump administration to evict people that are in public housing that are here illegally?
No, let me explain to you. If you apply for political asylum or any other method of visa, then you get a number, and then you could get public housing. Your political asylum could take 7, sometimes 10 years, depending on your situation. You could appeal, there's so many things, and then you could get benefits. But those who cross the border, they don't even want to be near benefits. It's not true. They don't want to be near benefits.
Well, I spoke to a person that's actually in social services. Like they work in the office where people actually get their benefits from, and she said how illegals who come to the office with no actual number, no birth date, they have like 000 as a number, and they get benefits. In some places, they get benefits. It's a state-to-state issue. It's not a national issue.
That's not true. Let me explain to you. I live in the most liberal state with the most generous benefit, that is Boston, Massachusetts. So that's not true. That's not true. I remember when I came in 1993.
Okay,
well,
do you know about Washington State and their benefit system? That's what I'm talking about.
They might. What I'm saying, you have to find out what kind of visa.
The question was, do you know about sir? Let's be good today. The question I asked you was, do you know about Washington State and their benefits?
I don't know no Washington State benefits.
All right, okay. So since you don't know, then you can't comment on it.
But let me go back. Let me go back and explain to you. When you get food stamp benefits, SNAP program, when you get welfare, they verify your social security number. If you're a permanent resident, they check your green card, the front of the green card, the back of the green card. Even if you come with a fake number, they double check that number with INS. So there's no way they get benefit. Now, what you're
saying is not true. What you're saying is not true.
It's true. It's true.
I just told you, sir. Sir, listen to me. Listen. I just told you that I spoke to a person that works in social services in Washington State, and they said that you're not telling the truth. So, am I going to listen to you, a person who like, if you don't know what's going on in Washington State and their whole system, how are you going to tell me that I'm wrong when I spoke to a person that's actually there in Washington State?
You see, the question, you don't know, it was an illegal person that came illegal with no number, no ID, no nothing, and they just give them benefits?
Yes.
They just decided to randomly give them benefits.
I'm telling you, that's what happened.
Well, I have to check on that. I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe it because
check it out. Look it up. Do your research.
Like I said, when I came here, they checked my stuff.
But that's in your state. That's in your state. Each state is different. If you go to Maine, you have. Listen. Okay, how about this? If you go to Maine, you have work requirements for welfare. You don't have that in every state. Every state is different how they handle their benefit system. So you can't just say, oh, because
no.
Wait, sir. Let me finish. Mm-hmm. Just because things are a certain way where you live, does not mean it's the exact same way in every state. That's not how the U.S. works.
Okay. So do you know welfare reform of 1994 when Bill Clinton passed it, right? Do you know what happened?
What happened? You tell me.
Okay, so one child, before like a one child, second child, third child could get benefit. The first child, only one who could get benefit. They don't give you benefit. Now, they check to see what are you doing in the meantime that they're giving you. That's where the work requirements come from.
Now, some
other states might decided to, just the simple fact, I need a babysitter. They find you a daycare. Some other states, they say, well, you're going to have to do volunteer work. Some other states, they don't require it to. But they check to see if you're working. They check if they check with you every 2 weeks to see if where you stand.
Okay.
How long you're going to be in the system. So all these things that people are on welfare running around is not true.
It is true.
This is Trump saying this is not true. If you read about the Welfare Reform Act in 1994, you will know that there are working requirements that, yes, each state applies the thing the way that, and certain states is tougher than northern states. Northern states are more generous. Like I told you, I'm from Boston, they're the more generous state. But all these people, illegal immigrants, is not true.
Okay, here's something
That's not true.
Here's something, but you don't know that because you've not been to every state, and you don't know how each state handles their situation. In certain states, you are able to be illegal.
I just can't believe.
Sir, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'll mute you right now. Somebody can hear you. I'll mute you right now. I can't hear you either. In some states, you are able to be an illegal alien and get benefits. That's the truth. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up something right here from the Center for Immigration Studies that says non-citizen households that access welfare. You have 63% of those households that get welfare programs compared to 35% of native households. That's a pretty big percentage. And it has documentation, it has links, it has all that good stuff. And you're still talking, but this whole time you won't even like, I can't even hear you, and they can't hear you either.
That makes sense. An American come and get welfare, you need to show his ID, his social security number. An illegal immigrant come doesn't have to show nothing. Does that make sense to you?
That's not the same thing. It's not the same way in every state. I'm trying to tell you.
Because
I'm talking about
okay,
how about this?
So
Watch this, sir. Listen.
Let me explain.
I'm gonna put you on mute again. You don't understand how the United States works. Different states have different laws. In certain states, you need your ID to go vote. In some states, you don't. You go to California, no ID, walk in there, vote, do whatever you want to do. In Tennessee, where I live, you got to have ID to vote and a voter card, but mostly the ID. Also, you have certain ways that you get your insurance. Different states have different kinds of insurance. Where I'm at, you have Blue Cross Blue Shield. In Virginia, I think you had Aetna and other kind of stuff. And sometimes different insurances leave states. The states are what really dictates this whole situation, not the national thing. See, you were talking the whole time again, and nobody can hear you. I couldn't hear you either. So whatever you were saying, you might want to start from the beginning, and I'll let you off mute right now. Whatever you were saying, you might want to start from the beginning because nobody was listening to you, and I wasn't either. I didn't hear you.
So you tell me that Washington State, you say that people walk in and get benefits without showing any identifications, without showing anything. That's what you're saying, right?
I've already told you that, so ask something else.
Okay. So do you not tell me any person, so you're going to tell me Americans have to show information, ID, they got to show the Social Security card, make sure they double check this thing is legit, and the illegal immigrant just walk in and get everything.
I don't know about Americans in Washington State. All I know is
that
about
doesn't make sense.
I don't know that. You don't know it either.
That's what I'm saying. I'm coming from logic. Doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I understand. I'm with you. We agree on that. It doesn't make sense.
That person is lying to you.
No. Just because it don't make sense, it might not make sense, but that don't mean it's not true. The whole thing.
I could go to Washington State.
I'll meet you again because look, you gotta when I start talking, you gotta stop. When you can go into a place and have no kind of documentation and get benefits, it doesn't make any sense. We agree. That is the problem we're trying to fix here, sir.
That is true because every state you gotta show information. How did they know? It's not program, right? It's a federal program that from the state, and these programs they get audited. If they don't know how many people are getting the documentation is verified, how they do these audits?
I mean,
so just people just walking free is like, yeah, man, I want benefits. It's not true.
You're asking
it
questions,
is not true.
Sir.
It is
sir,
not true.
You gotta be quiet.
It's not true.
You gotta be quiet.
It's not true.
You're asking questions that would make sense from a logical person's mind. How do you get in these benefits with no kind of ID or nothing? That makes sense to ask that question. But the problem is it's happening, and that is why we are trying to reverse it. It's so simple. You're kind of bewildered and perplexed, as was I. That is the problem. Welcome to my side of the argument.
So that I don't know if that's true. I just from the logical standpoint.
Okay. All right. So, we got like a few seconds left. If you wanted to talk about something else, you could talk about that, or I'll get to the next call.
You read about Waters, I think that's the program in Fox News says. Do you, the lawyer that was there with him?
Huh?
You know Walter Ward's program? I think it's called Walters. I think it's Walters.
Waters World. Waters World.
Well, yeah. From Fox News, that the lawyer was explaining to him about the report, that pretty much what happening is that they saying that there wasn't enough evidence to say there was a conspiracy charge. And even if it's a conspiracy charge, a special counsel cannot indict a sitting president. And I know there wasn't going to be indicted, and I knew that from the beginning because Bush went with the same thing to the WMDs. Remember the WMDs that never was found, the enriched.
Okay, what's the point? Get to the point because we run out of time.
That they will never indict a sitting president. That's the point.
Okay.
They will never. Doesn't matter what they do. They won't indict him.
Not enough evidence anyway, so it don't matter.
No, even with the evidence.
But there's not enough evidence.
You don't want to open a Pandora box.
In this case, there's not enough evidence. You don't want to open a Pandora
box with all the secrets that might lead to other things.
In this case, there's not enough evidence, so it doesn't even matter. But thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hello?
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
I just want to come up one more point.
No more points, sir. You've had enough. I was nice and said thank you for the call because usually he has to get hung up on, but I was nice and said no more. That was it. But nah, if you know anything about illegals in your state getting welfare benefits, press 1 in the box. If you have heard about illegals getting welfare benefits in your state, your city, your town, your parish, wherever you live, press 1. Okay, let's get to some more calls here. Someone you're on the line I'm speaking to. Turn speakers on the background for me, please.
Yeah, I'd like to be a caller on the show.
Yeah, turn speakers on the background for me. You're on the line right now.
Okay. Yeah, that last caller, he must love your show. He watches every single show.
Yeah,
that guy there.
he
But
does.
He always calls with lies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know that illegals over here and they're staying in free housing. That's a fact. It's all over the country. And he's talking about impeached. Richard Nixon was impeached. But even when the report was turned in, there's no collusion. There's zero evidence of collusion. So, this guy, I get tired of hearing him. But he has the facts just aren't with him, and the truth just isn't with this guy. I think he just needs to get a life, really.
Pretty much.
So, but that's pretty much all I got, ABL. I'm just tired of hearing that guy. Every time he calls, it's nothing but lies, and he talks over you, and that's ridiculous. But I love your show, ABL. Keep it going.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to get it out there sometimes. You got to get the real information out there. And thank you to the super chatters right quick. We got quite a few here. Thank you to Tsunami, who says, I confronted Warren about her impeachment statement and asked, how do you say that in Cherokee? Her face turned so red, I almost believe she was Native American. Hilarious. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Nico, who says, perhaps it's time to start selling yellow vests in New York and California, maybe so. Thank you for your donation, boss. Nathan Shields says, make babies America. Alrighty. Probably make American babies great. Make more American babies. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Michelle Harrison says illegals are getting SOC benefits. That's probably Social Security benefits. And I'm denied disability. I use the walker and the cane. Yeah, that's really a shame. That's what I was talking about the whole people that the whole thing about people that are getting housing, public housing, that are here illegally. And people were triggered about that, talking about how can they get evicted? Well, they shouldn't be in there. There should be more for citizens that actually need it, like homeless veterans. But I digress. Let's get to my next call. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Anthony? How you doing tonight?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Just want to discuss the Mueller report. These people on the left, I can't watch the mainstream media no more. I mean, not that I've been paying much attention to it, but this was like the final straw. I mean, you can. There's no explaining anything to them anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah, their Trump derangement syndrome is beyond a cure. I mean, it really is at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, some of the stuff they're talking about just makes no sense at all, like none. And I just kind of find it hard to believe they actually believe what they're saying. I think it's just a matter of them opposing whatever Trump does, whatever is said. It could be evidence right in front of them that what they're saying is not true, but they'll still continue on with what they're saying.
They're gonna. Some of them, I can even see some of them checking themselves into a mental institution.
oh yeah, like Chelsea Handler talking about she was drinking and smoking weed. It's like, really, is it that serious? Because the president that you wanted to win lost. That's why you want to start drinking and smoking? I mean, come on.
Well, let me tell you something. If that's the case, you got too much time on your hands, because us regular, everyday Americans are out here breaking our backs just to try to get by and make $1 every day.
100%. Don't have time to be so invested and obsessed over something that doesn't even really matter. I mean, the person lost. It happens. Just like if you lose in the basketball game or football game. Okay, you lost. Now move on with your life.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that. Tim Pool did a very good video. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. Something about he was talking about, there was an article in the Times written by it was an op-ed written by someone who worked in George W. Bush's administration, talking about on how this goes all the way back to 2014 with Obama and the whole thing with the Russians starting there, trying to sway the elections, even going back to 2014. And basically, at this point, he knew about it. I mean, look at all the stuff that came out in the Mueller probe, the whole nonsense with the Steele dossier, with the the golden showers that was in that dossier and all the nonsense. I mean, it really does all go back to Obama.
Yeah, it does. I mean, but people don't seem to really think about that. They don't really want to go down that road for some reason. It's all about just trying to push a particular narrative.
Yeah, well, you know what? The narrative is blowing up in their faces. Nobody's watching MSNBC and CNN and ABC and all the other mainstream media outlets. And, and this is, we're almost 6 months in. And, we called this right after the midterms that the Democrats are just going to obstruct. Nadler's going to lose in court, because he's subpoenaed the full unredacted report. It's not going to happen. The Attorney General by law can't send it to him unredacted. It has to be redacted to protect people that testified or whatever in the Mueller probe. And it's going to go to a court fight. I don't know if something like that would go to the Supreme Court, but they're not going to win. And they're just going to get wiped out in 2020. We know Trump is going to win re-election. It's probably going to be by a landslide. I'll up my prediction from 350 to 400 electoral votes now.
Absolutely.
And they're going to get wiped out in the House. Republicans will either retain control of the Senate. I mean, I don't know what the Senate looks like in 2020, but the House, it'll just be like it was when Trump got. Hopefully, you'll have more Trump Republicans that'll get in there instead of these rhinos.
Yeah, hopefully so. That's what I want, because the rhinos, they got to get away. Like Mitt Romney talking about, I was disgusted by Trump's behavior in the Mueller report. It's like, man, come on, cut it out. Like, we all know that you're pretty much acting and you're just trying to push a certain narrative from the rhino perspective. People like that don't need to be in office at all.
Exactly. And, listen, the economy's going good. It's all well, but Trump has to get the budget under control. We're $22 trillion now in debt. And, I'm concerned because it hasn't been a focal point of his administration. They need to get the budget under control because we can't keep printing money and borrowing money because the dollar will become useless.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, there needs to be some kind of fiscal responsibility there as well. I mean, listen, all the rolling back of the regulations, has helped us. It's helped so many communities. It's helped the black community. It's helped, Hispanics. I mean, it's so good to see what he's been able to do for all Americans. But my main concern is because, not that I have any kids, but the kids of the future are going to have to worry about that, paying that debt off.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
So, all right. On that note, I will talk to you soon and have happy Easter.
Thank you for that, man. Same to you. Definitely appreciate. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, you too. Good night.
All right. Thank you to my man Mike from Queens for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And if you guys don't know, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Shout out to all 374 people on the line watching. Not on the phone line, but watching on the YouTubes. So thank you all for being here. Let's get to my next call. 601, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, my name is Margot. I'm from Mississippi.
All righty, Margot, what's going on?
All right, well, I wanted to call in. I'm 18 years old, and I'm going to be in college in the fall, and I'm thinking of pursuing a career in politics, perhaps. I think I might study political science or something. And I'm not sure if this is relevant to even what the other person was last talking about. It was just some comments that I had. So I'm from Mississippi, and I recognize that even in a southern state, and even living in a southern city, that a city very deep in the South, that there are plenty of people my age in my classrooms and in my grade who have started to kind of be indoctrinated by all the leftist propaganda. I think that the technology that we have now, the younger generations, it's a blessing and a curse in some ways. I think that it's starting to expose a lot of the leftist ideologies and kind of all the silly propaganda. But then at the same time, I think that some people who, don't really look beyond their phone screens for any insight kind of get indoctrinated and brainwashed by all of it. There are people my age who think socialism is such a great idea and they really don't educate themselves on it. And AOC, with her being on the, in everybody's face all the time, like people my age, they're like, she's so cool. And, some aren't, but some are. And so it kind of just makes me wonder if you think that the idea that socialism could really become, something big in like American culture, or it could really swarm and take over our government, if that's a real possibility, like if you really think that that's possible.
That's a good question. I don't think it's possible anytime soon because of all the checks and balances, regulations. In some states, it kind of has taken over, unfortunately. Like you go to California, right. That's an example of that. But I mean, Mississippi, I'm in the border state to you, Tennessee, places like that. It's not really going to take hold because of how deep and ingrained the culture is, and it's not really going to be infiltrated from the outside. And that's the beauty of our system with the government, is that you got to have a consensus of a lot of the House, the Senate, from all the different states to drastically change the entire United States. So certain pockets of the country, unfortunately, have kind of succumbed to socialism to a certain extent. But on the federal level, we're not going to get there anytime soon. Definitely not in my lifetime or your lifetime.
Right. And I was about to also ask, because I watch your channel and I'm subscribed to you, but I'm kind of a new subscriber. And so do you consider yourself to be a staunch conservative, or are you more are you a libertarian, or where do you kind of lean on the spectrum?
Well, I think I see myself as more of a center right kind of person. I wouldn't say I'm a libertarian, but I think how I'm viewed is really just up to the person that's looking at me, because some people say that I'm a far right extremist, nut job. Some say that I'm kind of liberal, but I think that I'm center right. I believe in some of the basic principles about being a conservative, Second Amendment, First Amendment, no abortion, some of the basic things that we believe in. Yeah. I'm with.
Right. And I feel like a lot of that is like I said, I think that the media and all that type of stuff is really starting to become exposed in some ways, but at the same time, I feel like Trump, his presidency, people have been able to see how much he's been attacked by the left, and it's just kind of gone crazy. And that's another thing. Sorry, I had another question and remark. Do you think that Trump will get reelected for the second term? And this is, in my opinion, I feel like he will, just because of I think that his approval rating, and when you see, after Kavanaugh and after the Mueller report, and it seems like there's just this ridiculous amount of, on the left, there's just this ridiculous need for them to just find anything they can and just to take them down. But it seems like it's only backfiring and it's only making them look worse. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that's kind of going to affect everybody. I feel like it already has. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like, I've always kind of considered, I don't know if you have the stereotype, but, it is statistical and it is kind of a fact that Black people tend to be registered Democrats. I mean, you can see that African Americans a lot of times vote Democrat, and it seems as though throughout the Obama administration, I didn't really see that many people that, I don't know, it just seems like with Trump, a lot more people, African Americans, a lot more, just tons of people are starting to side with him more. I don't know. What do you think about that? I'm not sure.
Okay, I kind of missed the question there. What was your question?
Well, I was basically asking, do you think that Trump is going to get reelected, and do you see a rise in his popularity among groups that haven't traditionally or really voted for Democrats? I mean, for Republicans that much, like African Americans, more minority groups that haven't really always voted Republican. Do you see him attracting people like that now? Oh,
definitely. I think he will get reelected, and I got two reasons for that. Number one. Well, I got three reasons for that. Number one, he's the best candidate that is available on either side. So nobody will be able to primary him on the Republican side and actually be able to take over. And he's also the incumbent. The incumbent almost never loses. It's pretty much a guarantee that if you're the incumbent and you run again, you're going to be elected again. Also, there's nobody on the left that's strong at all. Nobody. And they're trying to run people that they can't run, because the whole thing on the left has been this anti-white male narrative for the past few years now. So if there's been an anti-white male narrative for a long time, it doesn't make any sense for these same people to say, okay, now we want you to vote for a white male. And then on top of that, the people that they do have are not strong anyway, and they're at a disadvantage because there's been a campaign against them. I saw an article today that says, should the Democrats have a white man as the face of their party? Like, that was from the New York Times. And I said that before.
Wow.
There will not be another white male president on the Democratic side because of the whole hate campaign has been waged against white males in general.
Yeah.
So all those things right there will pretty much ensure another Trump presidency for 2020.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I've been thinking as well. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the young caller. And hopefully you go off to college and, you know, get everything going with your career shortly afterwards. And shout out to everybody that's watching. Super chats. I got to call them out right quick, and then I'll get to some more calls. And thank y'all for shout out to all the first-time callers, all the first-time subs. I really appreciate you guys. But let me get to the super chats right quick. Thank you to Nathan Shield, who says, landlords make good money on Section 8. The renter pays what they can afford. The government pays the rest. So the landlord always gets paid. 100% correct. I saw that on one of these judge shows. It might have been Judge Joe Brown. And don't judge me. But on Judge Joe, it was this Asian lady that had a house. And this black lady and her kids destroyed the house. I was like, how did this happen? It was a nice house, gated community or whatever the case. But it was a Section 8 situation. So she was pretty comfortable, the Asian lady, getting broken off from the government. But the people that live there don't really care about the house because they're not actually working to make the money to be able to afford it. So, yeah, the Section 8, it does pay, but sometimes there could be a downside of not having tenants that really respect the property because they have not paid for it. But thank you for your donation, Nathan. Definitely appreciate you. Nicholas Bowling says, do I think we will ever get a Democrats' help on fixing our immigration problems, asylum, chain migration, wall, etc.? I'm afraid we may never. I doubt it. Not all the Democrats, maybe an occasional person like a, what's my man's name in West Virginia? Wow, I blanked. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Senator Joe Manchin, that's who he is. He may vote for a thing that could help the wall or help immigration, but Democrats as a whole, no, they're not going to do it. You got Skeletor, a.k.a. Nancy Pelosi in there. She's pretty much vowed to just be against whatever Trump wants to do. So when she's in there, how are you going to have anything go forward? It doesn't. Their whole thing is to try to obstruct. That's what they're going to do for the remainder of Trump's presidency, unfortunately. Taylor May says, ABL, can I say the number again for the call-in? Yeah, the number to call is 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box, and it's also in the ticker at a certain point as it's going along. There's a little part right here that you're seeing beneath me. You see it just changed right there. It'll eventually change, and you'll see the number. But it's always, always, always in the description box. But I got one more donation right here. I think I just saw one. Thank you to G-Car Jala for your donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you for your support. Let me get to my next call. 204 your line I'm speaking to.
Hey, man, what's going on, ABL? This is Tariq, man.
All right, man, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. It's never going to end, man, with this Trump-Russia investigation, bro. And, this is just this is like a soft coup in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Democrats don't even trust Robert Mueller anymore. Now it's just crazy. They think that if they subpoena the full Mueller document and see these redacted crap, that's going to be the nugget to nail Donald Trump. It's just saving face for the last 2 years. They have been proven wrong, and honestly, the media is really taking a hit in this country. I think a lot of Americans have been exposed to just how corrupt the media is, and alternative media, especially, I think alternative media for the conservatives has really took off, because you can't really, at this point, man, you don't learn anything watching the media. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of watch it sometimes just so I can see how the enemy is thinking, just the corrupt direction the country is going. But that's it. I don't watch it just so I can be informed about what's going on, important issues. Like I said, Americans don't even know why we're in Yemen. Just ask the average American, why are we in Yemen? They don't even know. How is that possible? You know what I'm saying? So, in just local things, like nobody knows anything, but what they are inundated with is just Russia, Russia, Russia. And you know what I'm saying? And another thing, man, Mitt Romney, man, like the guy, he just keeps popping up, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's like Mitt Romney is just, I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know if it's out of jealousy, if he likes being patted on the back, but you know, this is why I get angry at conservatives. I'm just like, why did they vote Mitt Romney in? Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, were there no other Senate Republicans in Utah running? You know, did it have to be Mitt Romney? Trump won Utah. So I don't understand. And then Mitt Romney comes in, talks crap. He barely says anything good about Trump. And he doesn't even attack the Democrats. He doesn't attack AOC. He doesn't go after Ilhan Omar. He doesn't say nothing about these Democrats. But when Trump does something, he makes sure that I'm about to get him now. I'm about to show how righteous I am. You know, he makes sure he opens his mouth and runs it. And then the conservatives in Utah are upset. It's just like, you know, you can look at this page and you can see this conservative. I didn't vote for you for vote to attack Trump. Well, you should have known that. You know what I'm saying? You should have known his history with Donald Trump, how aggressively anti-Trump he was. You should have known that before you put him in. So now we're going to have to deal with them. So I hope in 2022, those Republicans in Utah really find a Trump-supporting Republican and get Mitt Romney out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? Along with Susan Collins. But yeah, man, this is just a coup, man. This is going to go on throughout his entire until 2020, bro. And I think this is going to be used as a political weapon for the Democrats. And what they're going to try to say is, you know, Trump tried to obstruct justice, you know, by ordering so-and-so to do this, and they never did it. So I think that's the end game, man. I don't know, man. Like, have you been, you know, watching CNN just to check out their reactions?
Yeah, I see him occasionally. I see him on some of the clips online, and the reactions have just been ridiculous because at this point they've become conspiracy theorists. They're making up stuff about the whole situation to try and make sense of it. Yeah,
it was a conspiracy theory from the start, man. You know, I'm watching CNN and they're saying, you know, there's enough for Democrats to keep pursuing the obstruction charge. And, you know, some of the Mueller report, like I said, bro, I'm of the opinion that Russia didn't hack anything. They didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not going to, and I think that's where some of the conservatives get it wrong, when they say Russia interfered. I think Russia had zero influence on the election. I think this is just a made-up, contrived conspiracy just because Donald Trump wanted good relationships with Russia. And even Tulsi Gabbard said, especially at the way the liberals and progressives is acting, she's saying that the progressives are acting so hostile towards Donald Trump and Russia that they're actually pushing this country closer to a nuclear war with Russia, because Trump cannot, in good faith, make any type of peaceful rapprochement with Russia where you have a hostile media at home attacking him and saying that he's a puppet because he's not going out and attacking Russia, which puts America in a dangerous and more hostile position with Russia. You know, and I think Trump, unfortunately, sometimes on Twitter, he goes off on Putin. You know, Putin, get out of Venezuela. You know, he's arming the Ukrainian army against Russia. And I just think that these moves are just kind of stave off to show that he's not controlled by Russia. But to me, that just puts us in a more dangerous position. I think the American people would be happier if Trump just stood his ground and said, no, I'm making good on my promise with Russia. We are not going to war. I'm going to have better relationships. I'm not going to put more sanctions on Russia because we don't need to have a nuclear war. You know, so, yeah, man, the FBI, man, I just think they're all lying, man. I don't know, have you read that original report that came out? I think it was right when Donald Trump got elected, and you know, the intelligence services produced the evidence of how Russia interfered in the election.
No, I didn't see the original report.
I saw it, man. One of they were talking about Facebook ads, but another thing was Russia
that
Today.
one. I remember that.
RT. They said they had positive propaganda for Trump. That is so ridiculous, man. That is so ridiculous. So, you know what I'm saying? The media back at home had positive propaganda, and bias and lying propaganda against Donald Trump in favor of Hillary Clinton. That's not. You cannot say they interfered in the election doing that. And when they say hack the election, the American people need to know, what do you mean? How do they hack the election? That just makes no sense. Did they overturn votes? How did they hack the election? Then they say they stole emails from the DNC. Okay, how do we know that? Where's the proof on this? What happens is they just say things and we just buy it. You know what I'm saying? I wish what intelligent Americans should do is that when these intelligence services just say it, just because they're intelligence services doesn't mean they are telling the truth, because they lied us into that war with Iraq, and they almost lied to get Trump on this Russian collusion nonsense. We got to say, okay, show us the facts, walk us through, connect the dots. How did this Russian hack this and put this information out? Show us, because I'm not going to just believe you just because you said they hacked the election. I'm just not, because you guys lie. The whole FBI and everything was corrupt, man. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much what I want to talk about, man. I think we have to go from the roots. This whole thing, and I said this on my Facebook page, is just a big lie to undermine Trump from making any type of peaceful relations with Russia. It is going to continue to go on to make sure that Trump doesn't have any peaceful relations with Russia. And that's pretty much all I want to say, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
I know. All right. Tariq with the great call as always. A lot of truth bombs being dropped. Shout out to him for the call. Always appreciate it. Let me get to my next call here. Okay. I think I had one that's been calling for a while. I'm going to try to get them back on here if they're able to go ahead and call back in. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. How many we got in the chat? We got quite a few. We got 362 in the chat. Thank you all for being here. All righty. And shout out to everybody that's been calling in. I'm gonna try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight and we'll get you on as soon as I'm able to. All right. I think I had somebody that was on the line. I think 6175. If you want to call back, I'm gonna try to get you on. I see you've been trying to call for a minute. All righty. And let's see what else we got. Super chats, I'm pretty much caught up on those. Do we have all of them? Oh, thank you to my man Sushi, right on time. He says, the Mueller report shows that in 2014, 2016, Obama knew about Russian interference, but downplayed it because he was in the middle of the Iran nuclear deal and didn't want anything to do anything to upset Putin. See, there we go. We want to talk about that now, huh? Very interesting. Thank you for that donation. All right, 647 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello.
Yeah, turn speakers on the background for me, please.
Yeah, I got you. ABL.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for getting. This is Al from New York.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. So, I wanted to ask you what you want to ask me about. So, there's a few things I gotta remember because it's been a while. I've been trying to get through. So I'm a Christian. After a long period of time of going through a lot of different religions. So I'm a Christian, libertarian. So if you want to ask me about that, I'd like to talk about that. I remember there was something you had somebody last time, one of your live streams, that discussed, I think it was about black people voting. But before he got to that, he talked about how Christians are pushing their views on people in America. So we could talk about that, or if you want to talk about the Second Amendment.
Well, whatever is on your mind the most, we can discuss that.
Okay. I guess the whole Christian thing, because I think that Christians are misrepresented in some ways. So I'm a libertarian. Oh, this is what I think we should first discuss is, so I think for your people that are listening that are on the left, let's first figure this out. So as far as your opinion on, because you said you're center right.
Yes.
Correct? That's how you view yourself?
Correct.
Which I think that's accurate from what I see of you. I would say I'm a right-leaning libertarian. So I think I'm further right than you are.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of liberties, in terms of like drugs and things like that. So let's first establish this. So for the sake of argument, for the ease of the argument, let's say that all the way to the right is no government at all, and all the way to the left would be communism, complete control with the government. Could we agree on that for the sake of argument?
So say that one more time. You said all the way to the left is what now?
All the way to the left would be, because there's more dimensions than just two, but let's just say for our simple argument for the 5-10 minutes we have, all the way to the right would be no government at all, so it'd be anarchy or anarcho-capitalism. All the way to the left would be like communism, complete control, centralized control of the government over the economy and all social issues and so forth.
Correct. I agree.
Okay, cool. And this is how people should start their discussions, is what we agree upon, and then from there we can, discuss further. So you had talked about how, so as a Christian, first of all, I want people to understand. I hope they understand that, as far as I'm concerned, I think people that really understand Christianity, they're not trying to, or at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm not trying to push my views upon other people. I think when they talk about Christian values like the West or the Judeo-Christian values or so forth, I think what they should understand is that the Judeo-Christian values are not to push them on other people, but to allow people the freedom to choose their own religion or their own nature. So that's like the nature of libertarianism, in my view, is that, not that I want to push my particular Christian values upon you, but that I want you to have the opportunity for God himself, like what I believe is that God himself will show you the way, not me. I'm not going to try to push them upon you, but allow you the freedom to express those values and figure them out on your own.
Okay.
So as far as like the whole libertarian, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, sort of thing. So I heard that you said that you don't believe, this is where we might disagree to some degree about drugs. And so your point of view was that you don't want marijuana legal, correct? Because you're worried about the slippery slope into harder drugs. Correct. Okay. And I understand that point of view. I think that's legitimate. So this is what I want to ask you.
But caller, I don't mean to cut you off here, but we got to kind of speed it up a little bit because due to time.
So, do you think the federal government should be the one to influence that, or do you think that the state should decide on that? That's basically my what I want to ask.
Were you talking about weed legalization,
or anything that has to do with a person's individual right to decide, on how they want to live their lives?
That's a very vague thing, because that can be that can go from abortion to weed. So let's talk about
abortion. I would,
because some people say that's my body. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be focused on. You got to focus on just one particular thing. How about you talk about?
Let's focus on the marijuana. Okay. Marijuana and psychedelics specifically.
Okay. Yeah. Now my point was that I don't really see that much wrong with weed necessarily. Not anything more than I see with alcohol or tobacco, honestly. I think they all have their damage in ways that, things that they can damage people with. But
for sure,
it's not even really about the damage it can cause. It's about the fact that weed right now is in a taboo spot. It's not quite legal, but it's not quite illegal. It's kind of in this medium thing. And it should remain there, because once you take that away, it's going to be the next drug that comes in that fills the spot. Opiates are going to be the next thing, I can guarantee you, because we already have injection sites, Philadelphia, San Francisco. It's already happening now. So then once you remove weed from that taboo spot, The next drug is going to be the opiate derivatives. Why not make opiates legal? We already have the injection sites. We already have these dispenser, like these little disposal things in bathrooms and airports where you could put your hypodermic needle in there safely. Why not make it? It's already right there to be set up. So that's my thinking. I'm thinking about what's next. I'm not really worried about. You're right. I'm not worried about weed. I'm worried about what's next.
Totally, and I agree with you. But what my opinion, my question for you is, as a conservative, because I'm a libertarian on the far right, but you're more of a central right. So my question for you is, do you think that should be a question for the federal government to decide, or should that be the states? Because I feel personally the federal government should get out of the way, allow the states to decide. So if you live in, I forget where you say you live, Tennessee?
Tennessee, yes.
So if Tennessee or the state decides that, we don't want to do all this, I'm cool with that. But if another state decides that we want to let it all legal, do you think it should be federal, or do you think it should be state that decides?
Well,
that?
The way it is right now is state-to-state issue for the most part. The only thing that's kind of blocking it is the federal regulations on banks when it comes to accepting money from drugs, and then sometimes some of the spots get raided. I would just say, just to kind of compromise, have it be a state issue. I would want it to be a federal issue, but we can have it be state issue. That's fine.
I would just figure, like, if the federal government got out of the way, allowed the states to decide, then we could all decide to go where we want. And then, and also I just wanted to say, that I appreciate that you allow us to call in and talk to you, because it allows us to have these conversations and everything. But yeah, so I guess my issue is I just don't like the federal government deciding these issues. I'd rather the states decide and let the states figure it out that way.
Yeah, I'm with you. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the call. All
right. You're welcome. All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, the whole thing about weed, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be the next thing. Heroin, opiate derivatives is going to be the next thing. I mean, mark my words, because I can tell you a few things before we get to the next call. Number one, you already have most of the drugs that are opiates legal already. Most of the opiate drugs are legal already. The Oxycontin, oxycodone, Xanax, promethazine, all these different companies that make the cough syrup, Actavis, all that stuff is already legal, but you got to get it with a prescription. And then you have shooting galleries in San Francisco. You're able to go into a place that's built by the local government to shoot your drugs up. And they give you the drugs, not the drugs, they give you the needles to shoot them up with. So the government gives you your supplies to get high, a place to get high, and they don't even really trip when you get high. So it's already about to be legal. That's going to be the next thing. Guarantee it. Mark my words. But shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And we got a few more calls on the line. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. I had a caller call in from Skype. If you want to call in, boss, again, I'll try to get you on the line. But let me get to my next call. Nico, what's happening?
Hi, Anthony. How have you been, man?
Everything's been great, man. How about yourself?
Well, the good news is that I'm actually going to be heading off to Seattle. I'm going to be heading off to Seattle with my brother on Monday.
Oh, sounds good, man. What's going on in Seattle?
Oh, we're just taking a vacation up there, and my brother's birthday was actually on April 15th, so I proposed just to take him on a trip up there.
Sounds great, man. Absolutely.
All right, but hey, this should be fun, no matter what your chat says about Seattle, but I've enjoyed Portland, to be honest, so let's see what Seattle has to bring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one thing I gotta say, you know that Hispanic caller that was calling you earlier?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I mean, I'm Hispanic myself, bear in mind, and I just think he's just a moron. Put it that way.
Hey, man, I'm with you.
I mean, do you understand why? I mean, there's always that proverbial stereotype that white people, like, oh, because you're white, you're racist, or because you're black, you're a gangbanger, or because you're Hispanic, you're an illegal immigrant, and that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Realize I mean, nowadays with the Hispanics being lumped into illegal immigrants, I mean, when you really think about it, there's many of them who don't being like lumped into that same category of bigotry of low expectations when you look at it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense to me.
All right, but I just want to say is that I just want to say something kind of humorous about I want to say about that Ancestry advertisement about that black lady and her white husband.
Yeah.
I'll bet you $1 million that her white husband is Irish.
Probably so.
Maybe he's running off. Maybe he's escaping New York City.
Hey, I mean, it was a lot of that type of stuff going on back then. Just like my great grandfather was black and Irish. I mean, how did that happen in the early 1900s with all this so-called racism going on in West Virginia, out of all places in the world? But that was that was a real thing back then.
Oh well, sorry, I interrupted you a second ago. No, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you
but
good.
I just want to say, like, what about in California? What about in California, right here in California, where the Asians were suffering the prejudice as well? You don't hear them talk about that. Do you know that?
They don't talk about that.
I mean, you had prejudice in the South. You had blacks in the South, the Irish in the North, and then you have the Asians and the Hispanics throughout history in California that were suffering the equal amount of prejudice.
That's right.
Yeah, and then they always said, "Oh, we have a history of being the most tolerant state in the world," and then they always went to history about they're clean from their sins. Ironically.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell if they're so progressive. I can't really tell.
Oh, so I want to say something else. Have you heard this? You know about Ann Coulter, right?
Yes.
Did you hear that she said that she would vote for Bernie Sanders?
I did see that. I saw an article where they said that she may vote for Bernie. That was funny to me.
I never actually liked her, to be honest, because I think that she's a left-wing social justice warrior in disguise.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's how I see it. And one thing, what's that guy's name? That Mayor Pete Buttigieg, I think is that his name is.
Yeah, they call him I call him Booty Gig, but his name is Booty Judge.
Oh, well, did you know that he says that have you noticed how he's constantly bragging about his gay lifestyle?
Yeah, he always talks about that. That's kind of a constant thing that he harps on.
Well, okay, terrific right there. Now, do you have some actual policy? Because the way how I see it, the Democrats are more focused on how it's basically sort of like marketing the gimmick. Put it that way. Like, hey, look, there's a black guy hey, look, there's a black guy. Hey, look, there's a Hispanic woman. Hey, look, there's a gay guy now. Right. They're more like gimmicks than actual policy when you really think about it. I mean, that was the sole reason why Trump won. I mean, when you really think about it, he was just even though he looked like your generic businessman and Hollywood celebrity, by the way, he won because he brought actual policies to the table.
And that's right. That's what you got to do. Bring actual policies to the table and have that be what you focus on. Him being famous helped, but he also had to have something that he brought to the table. You can't just be somebody that has a certain kind of identity and have that be all of what you run on. You need to have more than that.
Yeah, and another thing I really thought of this, Trump is not really conservative at all. The way I see it, I actually think he's a Manhattan liberal in disguise. If you look at it more from a traditional sense, that is. Not like not like one of those crazy left-wingers, but I'm talking more of a more traditional, classical sort of a sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's kind of how I see it. I mean, at one point, I do believe that he was registered Democrat, but I think the reason why he switched to being Republican because if you ran as an independent, because there's actually no way you would win as a independent or libertarian, at least for this current time. Maybe sometime in the next 10 years, but at this current time, I don't really think so.
You got to be one or the other because you won't be able to get enough support to be able to get over the hump. And most Americans don't even really know anything about that. They know Democrat, Republican, And you got to be able to appeal to the majority of Americans, not just the select few that are in tune with politics.
But I think he's just really but I think he's just really a Manhattan liberal in disguise when you really think about it. I mean, when was the last time you saw a president that was for legalizing gay marriage? I mean, I know you might not agree about that, but isn't that more of a compromise? And I think that he was considering legalizing weed, and I think which has already been done. I'm not really sure about that.
Well, I think at a certain point, he would be too conservative for the Democratic Party as it stands today. So his particular policies fit more with the Republican Party, even if he's more of a Manhattan liberal.
Oh, well, I would kind of like to see him do that, because watched Democrats freak out about that, saying, "Oh my God, weed is now wrong now." Kind of like what they're doing with their sanctuary policies. Like, if you want them, you take them. Then we'll give them to you.
Pretty much.
All right. But I know you're pretty much short on time here, but that's all I pretty much got to say. I know there's a lot more, but you have a lot of callers. So good luck to you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you to Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys on the number to call is 434-658-1220. Shout out to my man Sushi for the super chat, who says, hold on one second, let me get to it. He says the left wants to push the America is racist narrative. The number of interracial marriages have been going up for years. It's hard to be a racist country when the racists are getting married. And that's a good point. Yeah, they don't want to show the interracial marriages and all that good stuff because it goes against the narrative. It kind of kills the whole thing. How are you going to be a racist country with all the races being married? You got to have different races and different little groups and pockets to have racism. 100%. But let me get to my next call. 301, you're the line. Am I speaking to?
Hey, it's JB. What's up, brother?
Everything is good, JB. What's happening?
Another day, another on the road, man. And I was shocked how many truckers are Trump supporters. Let me tell you, I was shocked how many people are informed to drive trucks. You would sit, like I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I was shocked at him discussing. I fit right in. He's as much of, excuse my language, white people. I would think I've never talked to a day in my life.
Oh yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. Like, and then they're in their trucks listening to podcasts, watching YouTube. Like, I know a lot of truckers. They watch the show, they call in, and they're really informed about what's going on. They understand what's happening.
Yeah, and it's just amazing seeing how this country's the nice, the bad, the ugly, just driving around. And it's amazing. People understand. I wish more people could see the world. Just the United States in general. I've been to like maybe 30 states in about a month. Yeah, and I was shocked that Trump support and black people was getting more and more. Like, I surprised how many Africans was on his side. I'd be shocked. They said if I could vote, I would vote for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just like the man that got beat up with his MAGA hat on in D.C. and what was that, in Maryland? African dude.
It's up near Silver Spring and everything. And I was trying to tell her, my wife called me, yeah, but that guy got beat MAGA hat on. These people are crazy. Why is these guys with a hat on? And I was like, that's how people are, babe. I'm like, this is how people are. They're crazy. They don't understand anything. And then and the great thing about this whole Trump thing is getting really sickening right now. Like CNN's actually reporting that they want to recall and resent this Mueller report. They want another investigation. I'm like, you spent millions out 2 years, you didn't find nothing, and you locked a lot of people for dumb charges over lies.
Right.
And I hate to say this, Trump's lawyer, they destroyed his life for nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they destroyed life for nothing, and then on top of that, he's hurting right now. When I say hurting, he's done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's done. And then thing about it is like they got this whole Uma Thurman thing going on.
Oh yeah, you talking about Charlize Theron?
Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah. Whole Uma Thurman thing, and that thing's killing right there. Your daughter said your son, he'll be 3, he'll be a girl. You gonna make him raise him like a girl? You dumb. Excuse me, you dummy, you moron. My kids, you know my kids. My kids are dead. I'm a choo-choo train, 2 years old. I said, no, you're not, son. And now in the discussion, End the discussion.
Right.
But ABL. But are you getting Mortal Kombat? Let's fly get off the line. You getting Mortal Kombat?
I don't like fighting games, so I'm not going to be able to get that.
Killing me, yo. But next week though, listen, I'm getting what do you call that game? Days Gone. I'll let you know. I'll review it for you. Because by that time I have my setup in my truck yet, so I'll review that for you. I'll call you like on next, not this Thursday, next following Thursday, let you know how the game is.
Yeah, let me know, because I might have to get that, but I'm kind of scared because I don't know how it's going to be. But let me know how it is. I might get it.
I'll let you know. All right, ABL. Peace, love, and Jerry Carroll Juice and room. Keep the faith. We got this in the bag. All right, peace.
Peace. All right, thank you to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to my next call here. 206 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo.
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
Oh, this Taylor.
All right, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? You can hear me cool?
I hear you just fine.
Hey, so I wanted to talk to you about the state of black.
Yeah, talk to me on the phone. You got to turn the stream in the background off because there is a delay.
Yeah, it's off. I paused it.
Oh, you good?
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, bro. I wanted to talk to you about the state of black, especially black men in America, and I want to just continue to encourage you on doing what you're doing because I believe that black men in America, black people in America, we have everything we need. We're just not doing the right thing. We're not encouraging in the right way. We're not talking about the things like education and treating each other better and speaking with proper English. And that's one of the reasons why I like you, because I think you exemplify being like a educated black American. So that's why I want to call you and tell you that and see what you think about it. And with all the crazy stuff going on with Nipsey Hussle, this man is tragic, but then his dang funeral got shot up, and I'm like, it's a cycle. Same thing happens. Somebody gets smoked, and then they say that gangs are going to tie the flags and calm down, and the same thing happens again.
Yeah, I mean it's really crazy, and the thing about it is I saw all this coming, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, of
but,
course. And I live in California.
Yeah, you know how it is. It's like when you get a lot of the gangs and all that kind of stuff out, it's not really going to end well. People talking about, oh, this is great. We're going to bring all the gangs together. It's like, no, it's not great. What you need to be doing is getting the gangs out, because you got a lot of death and destruction that are surrounding these gangs. So when you try to celebrate that kind of culture, you're not going to have a positive outcome. Yeah. Like even during the vigil when he first got shot. Like some people got stabbed and trampled. It was a mess.
Man, it's all bad. And I hate to say this, and I got this is a whole nother topic, but I got a black dad and a white mom, so I'm mixed, right? Mm-hmm. You got a lot of mixed people that are trying way too hard to quote unquote be black and talk black and all this stuff. I love white people. I'm okay saying I love white people. I love black people, but it's a problem. And one of the most racist things I think goes on, and it gets swept under the rug, is, there's a lot of white people out there that'll say to black people, you act white. And if you really think about it, it's crazy that they're saying it, because basically they're telling black people, say you got like a token black kid at a suburban high school, and these white kids are telling him, you act white. He's thinking he has to be a thug or act, some type of way. And it's just part of the whole problem with black America. And that's why I say, man, that if black people of, let's say, 100 years ago had the same opportunity that black people had today,
oh man,
blacks thriving.
It would have been a whole different. It'd been a whole different ball game. Like people they take for granted what we have available to.
Man,
I mean, it's so much stuff we have available. People they don't take advantage of it, and it's really a shame.
It's a shame, man, and it's just crazy how this whole thing is played out. And I talk to a lot of young black
kids, like high school kids, and I tell them, man, I don't try to like bring them over to the conservative side, even though black people should want nothing to do with the government. Black people should be 100% conservative. But I just tell them, look, man, nobody is responsible for you but you. You the one that got to go home, do your homework, do after-school programs. You got to do that. The government doesn't have to do it for you. Stop, don't ask the white man to do it for you. You got to do it. And that's just the attitude. And the problem is the CNN and the mainstream media, give Black America this thing where Black America always just blames it on the white person.
Yeah.
And it's so detrimental to Black society. And that's why I appreciate you, man. There's a couple other, black dudes on YouTube. I think your homeboys with, Brandon Tatum?
Yeah, Brandon Tatum, absolutely.
Yeah, just dudes like you, man, that, are doing the right thing, because we got these rappers out here, and I love rap music. I can't say I don't love rap, obviously, but you're talking about riding around with guns and shooting people. They need to be talking about getting blacks to graduate from high school, because blacks have one of the lowest high school graduation rates. That's
right.
the way to fix it, and it got nothing to do with white supremacy.
I agree with you 100%. It should be the narrative right there.
That's it. That, obviously, killing each other and single mothers and all that, and but that doesn't have anything to do with white supremacy, or white privilege. That's just a decision. I feel like if you took a bunch of Asian people and put them in the same economic situation that a lot of blacks are in today, in 10 years they would have worked their way out of it.
Absolutely.
So, I don't want to take up your line. I just want to call you, and man, I called you like 50 times. I felt like a jealous ex-girlfriend that was calling and calling back and all that. But I appreciate you, and hopefully I'll holler at you in the future, and keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to do what I do on my side, G.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to all the dedicated callers, because it is sometimes hard to get into the line, but thank you to the caller. 361, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, sir. You're speaking to Daniel from Houston, Texas.
All righty. What's going on?
Well, everything's okay. I'm very happy it's Saturday night. Mr. Logan, I'd like to get your opinion on these on this so-called 10 instances of Donald Trump may have committed obstruction. I mean, that's all what I saw last night on MSNBC and CNN. To me, Anthony, it just looks like to me that they're just beating a dead horse. I'd like to get your opinion on this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've not heard about the particular instances, but I have heard about the media saying that there may have been some collusion, but I don't know anything about the particular instances.
Well, I actually looked over it, all 10 instances, and one of them that caught my eye is his reactions to how his difference of opinion changed with Michael Cohen after he turned against him. Basically, after he found out he was secretly recording him. I failed to see how that's obstruction.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, that obstruction of what? I mean, to have an opinion about somebody is just your opinion. It's like, okay, when you're friends with somebody and they're in your corner, you guys are on good terms, then everything's good. But then when they do something against you, when they betray you, then your opinion changes. It's like their opinion changed. At one particular point in time, they wouldn't do anything against you, but then once they get into a situation where they may face a long time in jail, that changes. So you must change as they changed.
Yeah, correct. And now we're talking about Robert Mueller. We need to talk to Robert Mueller. We're not going to take Bill Barr's word for it unless we get Robert Mueller on there. Well, by all means, I want to hear what the man has to say too. And if there is so much ample evidence that Adam Shifty Eyes is talking about, then why didn't he present any indictments towards Ivanka Trump or Jared Kushner or Don Jr.? You know why? I'll tell you why. I will tell all the naysayers out there, because he has nothing. He has nothing on the Trumps. If the evidence was out there, he would have arrested. I mean, right? He would have presented indictments, correct?
That's correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it doesn't stop, Anthony. It won't stop. It'll never stop because now we have to look at his tax returns. Now we have to look at his finances. We have already established the man did nothing wrong. He did not collude with the Russians, and there is insufficient evidence to proceed with an obstruction of justice charge. That's it. I don't even know what they're talking. I mean, I'll tell you why they're doing this, Anthony. Before I leave, I'm in a hurry here, but I know why they're doing this. For the past 2.5 years, they have pushed this Russian collusion, delusion narrative because it is their bread and butter. Yeah. They have lied repeatedly to the American people. And, I mean, that's it. If they have to continue with this narrative. I mean, if they don't, I mean, they already look like fools to begin with. They're liars. Shouldn't they? I mean, the American people should be upset with the mainstream media lying to you. It shouldn't be the other way around. And lastly, Anthony, they're, like I said, they're just kicking the dead horse. They just need to let it go, man. They just need to let it go.
I'm with you. Just like Frozen, let it go because, it's not doing anything good for them right now. I agree with you 100%.
It's not.
All righty. But thank you for the call.
Right.
Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let it go. But you know what? People like Rachel Maddow losing 500,000 viewers in one day. It's hard for them to let it go because it's money they're letting go. It's not as simple as, we're just letting the whole thing. We're letting the money go as well. 419, you're line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Jimmy. Toledo, Ohio. I had a few comments about.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night. All right, Jimmy. Do me a favor, Jimmy. Turn your speakers down in the background for me.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right.
Yeah, everything from the Mexicans and how they're trying to get in the country, and the TPP. I think people have forgotten about the TPP, and I that was a key issue that got Trump elected.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what happened to that. That one is a big mystery to me. Anyways, that was the big issue I want to talk about. That and the Mueller report where Trump, I'm not sure he handled that altogether right at all.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, from the beginning, he was doing things that was obstructing justice, and not, in a way that he's not going to get impeached. And I hope he doesn't get impeached.
Nah,
Mike Pence and them, those guys are scary.
I mean, what is there really to impeach Trump on? I mean, I think the media, they have a lot of feelings and things involved, but there's nothing really to impeach Trump on. The feelings aren't enough to have an impeachment be conducted.
No. When he came out publicly and said he fired James Comey because he was investigating. He didn't want to drop the Russian. There was no basis for it. If you'd have watched Jimmy Dore when he brought on William Binney and who's the other guy? Ray McGovern. That's it. Those guys are from VIPs, and they're pretty solid when it comes to calling out things like the Iraq War. They were the first ones to say, no, there's no weapons of mass destruction. I'm an independent, okay? I'm a vet. I was a combat engineer in the Army, airborne combat engineer. I'm a descendant of many men who have served for this country. So I'm a patriot through and through. When I first joined the military, I was approached about, are you Republican or whatever? And I'm like, nah, I'm an independent. I don't want to choose one or the other. To me, that's epitome of being an American. You don't choose a party. When the Revolutionary War was going on, there was people that chose to be with the English, and they were a large part. That's why we had to have a secret underground society, because we couldn't even trust fellow Americans with what was going on. So I don't trust the Republicans or the Democrats, and I think right now they're destroying each other. The Democrats for chasing this Mueller report like they do, and they're still doing it. It's
pretty
insane. It's going to destroy them. It's only making Bernie Sanders is the one who's cleaning up on this. After that Bernie Sanders town hall on Fox, that monster is not going to die, and the Democrats are doing everything they can to destroy Bernie Sanders.
Oh, he won't make it. He won't make it because they've already destroyed him before the current efforts. Because let's just pause for a moment. The Democrats over the past few years have run this campaign that has been anti-white male for years, 5-6 years since Obama. During Obama, they had this whole thing about being anti-white male, against white males. So yes, Bernie is Jewish, but the average person will see him as an old white man, which is what they're going to go to the polls and vote based on. So if you have an old white man that's going to be in there, meanwhile, a lot of the Democrats have been told to not be supporting white men. How is he going to win? Especially when you got a crowd of all these people that are so-called minorities and LGBT and women. It's not going to work out just based on that alone. And a Democratic Party and a Democratic Party being against him as well.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is definitely against him. The establishment of the right and left. Look, Republicans, they want to look at themselves as Christians and patriots. But to me, they're the machismo part of the party. The Democrats, they're the ones that bow their heads and capitulate with whatever the Republicans want. Obama did everything that the Republican Party would have. He even admitted it. He said, in the 80s, I would have been a moderate Republican. So even his staff, they come out. There was a memo that said it was Citibank that pretty much gave him his staff. I mean, the people that was in office. And then Trump, he comes along and he went left of Hillary. At the same time, Obama's pushing TPP in places like Michigan and Wisconsin.
Right.
And then they turn around and they blame the Russians for losing the vote. I'm
with you, caller. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got to some more calls before I get in the show. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, you don't like what I'm saying, do you?
I have more calls to get to, sir. My phone lines are blown up. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Right. Okay.
All right, now. Okay, shout out to the caller. The phone lines are blowing up, so don't take it personal. Don't get triggered. 740, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, Anthony? It's Chad, man. I'm alien testosterone on and your thing. I was just want to get your thoughts about. I'm sure you heard about how the militia was down there detaining illegal immigrants and stuff like that. You know, and they kind of made a big deal about it, but nobody said anything about the Mexican military arresting U.S. military at gunpoint on U.S. soil. So I was just trying to, it's not really out there. It's kind of downplayed, but if anybody would to look at it, I mean, they would see it. It's out there. So I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the whole thing is really just about just how it looks, because the so-called militia, they're going to try to paint them in the whole category of being white nationalist or some kind of white quote unquote terrorist group. That's how they're going to try to paint it. So when you see something like that, that's going to be fitting into the whole narrative about the white man being violent, and also about people trying to prevent so-called migrants from coming in. But if it's on the opposite side of the border, the Mexican military detaining some of our military, then that's okay, because we shouldn't be there.
No, it's on U.S. soil. You could actually look that up.
Right.
If you were to, well, I mean, how do you?
I understand,
justify-
but let me finish right quick. The Mexican military detaining the U.S. soldiers on U.S. soil would not be seen as some kind of way wrong, because we shouldn't be right there anyway. There should be no border patrol. There should be no wall. There should be no boundaries at all. The people that come from south of the border should be able to just do whatever they want to do, go all throughout the country. We shouldn't be able to go there necessarily unless they want us to, but they can come and do whatever they want to do. That is the liberal mind state right now. So that's why the two instances were handled differently or seen differently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just didn't know. I mean, I don't see the issue where, I don't see how it's okay for a foreign nation, and as a combat veteran, I don't see how it's right for a foreign nation to come on U.S. soil and arrest anybody, let alone our military. And then,
right.
when, people, with the whole militia, they've been doing that for years. That's all constitutional. People don't realize that, but the militia is allowed to do that. I mean, that's all part of it, and they just don't realize it. But, I just thought I'd throw that out there. It's going on. It was on my mind, and I felt like sharing it with you. So thank you. I really appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you do, sir.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, great call. Shout out to the caller, and shout out to everybody that's been calling so far. You guys have been great. 470, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? I'm fine.
I'm good, Anthony. I heard you talking earlier, Anthony, about our candidate, Anthony.
About who?
Pete Booty.
Pete Buttigieg. Let's not make it to be a PG-13 or rated R show. Pete Buttigieg. That's his name.
I'm sorry. That's what we call him in the community. We call him Pete. Whatever. But anywho, Anthony, your man Orange Man is going down, Anthony.
Your phone is kind of messing up. I don't know where you at. I don't know if you got to put some more minutes on the Obama phone, but let's go ahead and get it together.
Hello?
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad, Anthony. But anywho, your man Orange Man is going down, Anthony, because the full report that came out.
Well, there's nothing in the report that's going to get him impeached or anything like that, so I think he'd be just fine.
That report said he was obstructed from justice.
Your phone's still messing up. It's like you kind of like not close, or you on speakerphone or something like that. I don't know what's going on, but it's like you kind of going in and out. So put some more minutes in the Obama phone and get that tightened up for me.
You can hear me, Anthony?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it's kind of like going in and out. So keep talking, and then we'll see if it's working right.
Okay, Anthony. I got my Obama phone. I think I'm going to trade it in and get me a Trump phone. Maybe it'll be gone.
Yeah, you might need to do that. Go ahead.
You think that'll be better for me, Anthony?
Hey, whatever you can do to get rid of this tin can that you got right now would be good, but go ahead.
Whatever, Anthony. And I like your hat you got on, your red hat. I wish you had your MAGA hat on, Anthony.
Hey, this will work right here. And if anybody wants this hat, it's available right below this video in the product shelf. So go ahead and get that.
Oh, that's your hat, Anthony?
Yes, it is.
I'm buy me one, Anthony. Can I buy one and wear it to the Bulldog in Atlanta, Anthony?
Well, hey, you can do whatever you want, but hey, the call is really messed up, and the callers can't hear you, so you gotta get to the next call. I'm sorry, because your phone is messing up.
You gonna hang up on me, Anthony?
Hey, you gotta. Hey, how about this? once you get off, let's hear the call again. Just play this back, and then you'll hear what I'm talking about. And then you got to fix your phone. Get you something that's bigger than the Obama phone. The Obama minutes ain't working out, or maybe you got to get to some kind of better connection because it's kind of messed up. You might want to talk to your cell phone provider, United States government, get that fixed.
Okay, Anthony. But Anthony, I want to tell your friend Nathan to stay out my DMs, Anthony. He hit me up and sent me some messages, but anywho, I'm gonna leave that alone. And one more thing, you tell Kevin from Kevin's Corner with that nice shiny black
All right. Let's keep it PG now. We got kids watching, sir.
Okay. Damn, Anthony.
All right now.
Trying to get in that corner with Kevin. But I ain't Anthony. I'm gonna go and make Atlanta gay again, Anthony.
All right, enjoy yourself.
Bye, Anthony.
All right. Well, our weekly or our daily troll caller, the Obama phone just failed. I don't know what's going on, but it was weird. It's like going in and out. I don't got no time for that. So call the United States government, call whoever you got to call, the Department of Communications, and get that phone tightened up. But let's get to my next call. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes.
Robin? Hi. How are you? I'm just going to turn this down. I didn't think it was going to work. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is my first time on calling these things. I was trying to do it yesterday, and I couldn't figure it out. How to call in, and everybody's on the channel. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think you got everything figured out now.
Yes, I do. Well, I support Trump. I'm not even like American. I'm Canadian, but I love Trump. I just think he's a great guy. He's doing a good job, and I think he's really trying hard to make America great again.
That's right.
But the whole freaking place is divided. Your whole country is divided. There's these people who are satanic, and then there's these other people who believe, and we're trying to it's just divide and conquer. That's all they're doing. They just want to divide us by whatever they can, whether it's a girl or a male or color or anything. They're just Michelle Obama. I was reading that. But what do you think? Do you like Trump?
Yeah, I'm a big Trump supporter, big Trump fan, and I think that the Trump phenomenon has become much bigger than Trump himself. It sparked a new wave of American patriotism and American exceptionalism. Because before, we're getting a steady dose of this whole thing about America not really being the exceptional country, America not really being good, a good place to be, being racist, all this, that, and the third. Now we're seeing much more pride in the country, and I think that's what is the best result of all of this. The whole Trump movement has resulted in more American patriotism and more just more basic, more respect for our own country.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is that you're losing your freedom of speech, and they're taking a lot of really good people that are sharing good news and not like fake news, and they're taking them off YouTube.
Well, that's kind of a complicated thing because on one hand, you want to have people that have their voice, and you don't want that to be silenced. But on the other hand, this is a business. This is not the government's property. Now, some people are trying to say it should be, a utility, so then the government can control it. But governments don't do well with what was functioning properly in private hands, even if the private hands were not functioning perfectly. You see what I'm saying? So I think that should be kept in mind. While YouTube is imperfect, I think that if it were to be under the hands of the government, it'd be worse.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't really talk on the phone, and this is like my first time in a long time talking on the phone. And the reason why is because I have extreme anxiety that makes
it's all
it hard
good.
for me to.
It's
but
just
I'd
me
love
and
to
you.
talk to you guys and share my ideas and tell people, like, you guys are pretty much my friends. Like, I don't have any other friends.
We're all family here. You're all family. This is a safe space for all of us, so don't even worry about it. You all good here.
Well, I have so much to say. I don't even know where to start, like, because I'm so.
Well, how about I ask you a question? I'll ask you a question about now. You say you're in Canada. How was the political landscape in Canada compared to the USA? Is it much more liberal? Do you see a rise in conservatism? Is it kind of like Trudeau is running the show? What's going on in Canada?
Trudeau's an idiot. He doesn't even. He just makes me like. He's so stupid. It's just like, I don't know. In Canada, you have free healthcare. You're able to go to the doctor. If you need to go to the doctor, you just hand them your health card, and then you have your health card. You don't have to pay nothing, like anything. The hospital, all that stuff.
Now, how was the healthcare though? Is it quality healthcare? Like, can you just go there and get whatever you want whenever? You said no.
No, because I've been there so many times. It's just been in a state of mind, and it's not. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Now, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you because it's kind of like when the government takes over. Like that's what I was just saying about the government taking over things. We got the VA here. That's the Veterans Administration, the Veterans Affairs, the Veterans Hospital. Yeah. I mean, very poorly managed, very poorly operated, but that's to be expected when you have government-controlled things. Private industry may not be perfect, but it's much better than the government because private industry has people that they got to answer to. If they don't perform well, if they don't innovate, if they don't do things to set them apart from the crowd, they're going to be kind of just set aside. They have to have competitors. They got to make money for the shareholders. So there's an incentive to do well. But if you're owned by the government, who cares? You could do whatever you want. You still get paid.
Yeah, but he's like being attacked from every corner. Everything he's doing. Could you imagine what he could have done if they didn't do all this stuff to him? Like, he's already like done so much, way more than Obama.
Oh yeah, much more.
Obama is like not even for the country. He wasn't for your country at all.
Right.
Like, he was a liar too, and he should have been impeached.
It should have been because it just found out that he knew about the Russian collusion or the Russian not collusion, the Russian so-called interference, but he didn't do anything about it for his own particular purposes. So if he knew about that and didn't do anything, then what's going on with that? They're trying to say that Trump should be impeached because of a non-existent collusion, but Obama did not get impeached for actual, non-action on Russian so-called interference.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So I thank you for the call. I'm gonna get to a few more. So hopefully,
you guys. I think there's another person that wanted to talk to you too. But thank you for giving me this opportunity because it really kind of got me out of my shell to just talk and talk to people on the phone. Something I haven't done in a long time. All right, but not talk.
Well, it's all good.
So God bless you and your family and all your subscribers. I'll pray for you.
Thank you for the call.
Have a nice day.
All right, now same to you.
God bless.
All right, shout out to the call. Hopefully they call back again. You keep on calling. This is a safe space. It's all good here. Don't even worry about it. All right, we got a few more minutes to go. I got about 10 more minutes or so. So I'll take a few more calls while we're still here. So thank y'all for joining. And I'm going to try to get to my next call. Y'all just hang tight. Okay. 602
yes,
in the line I'm speaking to. 602.
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking
hello,
to?
can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Fred.
All righty, Fred. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? Long time no hear.
Yes, indeed, man. Everything's going fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Mueller report. You remember when Hillary Clinton was debating Trump and Trump said, well, it's fixed. This whole thing is fixed. And she pinned it down and said, it doesn't matter what the results are, you're going to honor the results, right? Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yes.
So why are we Why are we here 2 years afterwards and the report is there's nothing in the report? And
that's a good point. That's a good question. I mean, the thing about it is the Democrats will tell you anything. They'll tell you whatever they want you to hear, but they don't really actually stand by what they say. They just say things just because they sound good at the time.
And so what if so what happens if a Republican was to win again? Outside of Trump, is this just Trump in your opinion, or is this just going to be if Republicans win, it's a fix?
Well, I think it's really just about Trump or anybody that the left can't control. I think if there was a leftist that was similar to Trump as far as kind of going off the rails, like imagine if AOC won, they would do the exact same thing to her as well because they can't control her and she's just too far out there, too far left. Trump is seen the same way. So, yeah, anybody like that that's not really in the establishment, down with the team, they're going to be against.
Well, but why haven't we heard from Hillary? Like, I mean, maybe you're a little bit more up on the news than I am, but we have not heard boo, nothing, zilch, nada from Hillary. Not a peep. Usually, she's out in the east or somewhere running her mouth about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've not heard from Hillary. Maybe she said something, but I've not seen it. And if she's not spoken at all, it's probably because she has some skeletons in her closet that are very close to being released. If she touches that Mueller report with a 10-foot pole, it might trigger some kind of hidden trap that'll let all the skeletons come out the closet and just be released to the public, and she doesn't want that too much. They already found out some stuff about Obama in the report, talking about he knew about the Russian interference and didn't do anything about it. So it could be a thing in there about her as well.
Well, didn't they say something about he is or was surveilling Donald?
Oh yeah, that was already known. That was known a couple years ago, but then in the report it came out like that's what was going on. They were doing surveillance.
Is that legal?
Well, I'm not really sure if what they did was illegal or not, because it might have been kind of a roundabout way they were doing it. I think what they were talking about is Paul Manafort being surveilled, and Paul Manafort was in Trump Tower, so they were able to bug Trump Tower through the I think it was a FISA warrant, which was granted by the FBI. So the actual surveillance may have been legal through the FISA warrant, but the question is, was a FISA warrant granted properly? If the answer is no, then now you got a case in your hands as far as some illegalities going on from that.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to the right, it's like, all right, we'll just let bygones be bygones. We won. So why do we need to press charges?
Well, I mean, it'd be great to press charges, but at the same time, we got to think, are we going to really be able to get anything done? Because you got to go through a lot of different, it's a whole lot of stuff that's protecting Hillary Clinton, a lot of different people. It's going to be difficult to get anything really to go through and stick.
Okay. All right, well, let some other callers call in, man. It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you as always.
All right.
All right. Thank you to my man Fred for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to go ahead and get Hillary in the penitentiary, get her in them black and white stripes and the handcuffs. That'd be fantastic. Or the orange is a new black jumpsuit looking like crazy eyes. They could be twins. They could be sellies. But what's realistic to be able to happen? How are you really going to be able to get the actual indictment to stick and translate into a sentence? I'm not really sure. All righty. Let me get to my next call here. And thank y'all for calling. 580, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Tammy.
All right, Tammy. Turn speakers down in the background for me, please.
I did. I turned all of this off.
All right, now.
Okay.
What's going on? Tammy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, what's going on?
I'm doing good. I want to talk about something real quick, and I left and then I came back. Well, what I'd like to talk about for a minute is this racism business that they're all talking about. And I'd like to tell you a little story about what my life was like. I'm 51, and I grew up, I was then as a child, and I still am, a white person. There's nothing I can do about that. That's who God picked for my parents. I had no choice of it. It's ridiculous. I grew up in an all-white town. I went to school with all-white kids. And I came from a huge family. And not one time, God is my witness, ever heard anybody, not in my town, not in my family, ever say anything ugly or derogatory towards a black person. Now, even though they weren't in our town, we had other towns around us that we had to go to, so we had to socialize, things like that. It just wasn't part of our environment. But nowadays, that would automatically make my entire family a racist family. Number one, just because we're white, we can't control what skin we're born in. But as time has gone by and times have changed, we now have mixed family members. We got them black, we got them Asian, we got them Mexican, we got them all in our family. And we love them. And so it confuses me. Maybe I grew up in a bubble. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. But a white person growing up in an all-white family through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s and on, and an all-white town, I don't understand how all of a sudden now in 2019, just because of the color of my skin, me and my entire family are racist. It makes no rational sense to me. None. How am I supposed to explain all this to my grandchildren?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense because it's not true. I mean, people just make stuff up because they want, how can I say it? They want the whole thing about racism to be true because they can be a victim. They can hang their hat on being the victim, being oppressed, and somehow being wronged in the country. And then they can use that as an excuse why they're not where they want to be in life. So it's just simply not true. I'm down here in Tennessee. I'm in the South. And everywhere I go, I see people that are mixed, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everybody just pretty much together, and there's no problems. This whole thing about racism is not even true. It's not real. Maybe at one point in the world and the society, a real long time ago, maybe. But today, 2019, no, it's simply not true. People that say these things are simply lying to just try to get their whole thing about being a victim out there to the public. So I wasn't even worried about it. You know, just take care of your family, worry about that. And then to your grands and everybody, just tell them just the reality of the world. You know, people want to lie because they want to be a victim, and we love everybody just the same. We judge people based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Thank you.
All right now.
All right. Well, y'all have a happy Easter.
Oh, same to you. Absolutely.
All right. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, there ain't no racism. Like, I'm in Chattanooga. I'm like not far from Alabama, Mr. Nice. I ain't gonna tell your last name, but I'm like on the border of Georgia almost. Alabama's like a half hour away. What racism you talking about? I just don't see it. Maybe somebody said something you didn't like, and then that was enough to get you triggered. But nah, ain't no racism. Okay, I take a couple more calls, and then I gotta bounce. So I'm over the time already. 978 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, Anthony, this is Steve Baldessari with American Patriots Forgotten Country. How are you?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. I figured I'd call in because I've been going crazy in the chat. I thought it would be best to just get some things off my chest. So, yeah, that last caller was so spot on. You know, this whole racism conversation is just, it's just that. It's a conversation that's manufactured, like you were talking about from the left. You know, there's maybe 1 in a million people out there who's probably a racist. Maybe that's understating it. I don't know. But there's not many. And I think that focusing on it is purely for political gain. You know, it's just kind of like quite obvious at this point. It's really quite lame, I think. And if they really cared about the races and bringing people together, then they wouldn't be doing this. I think we all know that. We all know what it is. What it isn't is okay. And we need to stop these people on the left. I had been commenting about if the Department of Justice, if the FBI, if all these, alphabet letter organizations are going to become corrupt, if the police are going to take orders from these people who are at the high levels of our government corrupting everything, then we need to do something to stop them. And I know people don't want to hear that, or they might say that's crazy, and YouTube definitely won't want to hear it. But the fact is the fact, right? It's a fact. And I think that a lot of people are scared to have that conversation because of those people. They're scared of them knocking on their door, from speaking freely like I am right now. They've already knocked on my door. They want to intimidate. They want to follow you. They want to silence you. They've fired me for my job. Of 6 years, they've ruined my life. I have told this before on my own channel, American Patriots Who Got Country. They will ruin you, but you have to stand firm, because when freedom is on the line, all else doesn't matter. You can't sell out. You have to make a difference. You have to make a stand. And right now, in this country, we're very close to that point. If they try to impeach Trump, if they do that, we're going to have a serious problem. And even if he gets elected in 2020, I'm telling everybody right now, if it's not in 4 years, in 8 years, or 12, whenever it comes soon down the road, and they have a socialist come into power, or they have a Muslim come into power, okay, we are going to have a serious problem on our hands. They're going to do what they did to Venezuela. I was just talking, I'm going to take a breath in a second, but I was just talking to a guy from Venezuela just today that I was doing a moving job with. And he was, everything I'm saying, I said, you have to have leaders emerge in your country, and you have to rise up against these dictators, and you have to take a stand. And he said, you're right, but we can't, because they disarmed us. And now we can't stop them. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in the United States. And they know how many guns we have. They know how much we stand for freedom, and they're not for it. They hate this country. They want to do the same thing here. And if people allow that to happen, gradually or not, this country is in a whole heap of trouble. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that you have a point there, but I think that what you were saying can definitely be avoided. We just got to take the proper steps. We can't just allow things to happen without any kind of kickback, without any kind of pushback.
And how so? How do you mean exactly? Sorry.
I mean, voting, that's the main thing, voting, and just being vocal about what we want as a country, as citizens, not just allowing things to happen to us. Voting early and often, talking about midterms, national, that's really the main way, because that's how these things are really happening through the election process. People that are in power, that have the power to change their life, are doing it, and a lot of people aren't taking the necessary steps to prevent that from happening.
No, I absolutely agree with that. And I'm just concerned, though, that there are so many brainwashed pawns of this system and these corrupt people that they've gotten to people's brains through social media, through the education system. And I think people's minds have turned to mush on a large scale, at least half the country. And furthermore, they're fixing elections. They're also putting in this popular vote thing where they have all these states signing up to be able to just ignore the Electoral College. And it's a big concern. And if ideally, I agree with you that if we could get these people to wake up and just be intelligent and see the error of their way from following these leftist conspiracy theory and, evil tactics that they're pulling here, then that would be great. I just kind of think that there's too many people far gone, and I just think they're so stubborn in their beliefs of that this fiction is fact, that the CNN and MSNBC and all the other fake news networks are pushing, that you kind of worry, have they gone too far down the rabbit hole? Is there any way of pulling them back out? And hopefully the answer is no, they haven't, but I kind of think they have.
Well, hopefully we get that changed around, man. But I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. Take care, man. Take care.
Same to you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to all the callers, but I got to go. We're past the time right now, and I got to bounce. And if you didn't get in, I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to get you on the next time. But it was a lot of calls that were still on the line. I'm sorry if I can't get you on, but We got to go. Thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to the last super chats I have. Let me see. Nathan Shield, thank you for your donation. He says, that's good to know. I'm also a trucker. That was to the person earlier that was talking about how to truck. My man JB talking about truck drivers. And Sushi says they're wanting to include pole dancing in the Olympics. Cardi B is going to win the gold medal. No, just no. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you, and hilarious as well. And once again, thank you to my last caller. That was Steve Baldessari from American Patriots for God and Country. And that will be a wrap. Thank you all for being here. We got 284 live concurrent. If you want to continue the conversation, you can do so on Discord. Let me see if I can find that link right quick. Y'all hang tight. Because I changed my setup here, and I can't even find anything. Y'all give me 1 second to find the link, and then we'll be good. And if you've not liked the video yet, please do so. That'll help me out a tremendous amount. Patriots for God. All right, let me just stop that. And let's go to Discord. There we go. The Discord link is right here. Discord is, if you don't know what Discord is, it's a free chat service. And it's a community for people that are in the chat with each other all the time. You can go in there. Sometimes it's full. Sometimes it's not. You could talk through text, also through voice. Free chat service right there. And if you did not catch that link, which is right over there in the description, right in front of you in the chat, it's also in the description box below. So it's right over there in the chat, in front of you in the chat, also in the description. Y'all have a safe, happy, and blessed Easter. Y'all don't eat too much after the church service is over. I know how it is in the basement. You want to get full. Just make sure that you're safe and check your blood sugar. Make sure you good money. But that's pretty much all I got. So, shout out to the moderators right quick. I ain't forget about y'all. Hold on 1 second. I can't even get to the mods in this new thing. But shout out to all the mods. You guys know who you are. Sushi, Michelle A, Bill from the Hills, T-Pain, everybody. Thank you all for being here. That's going to wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.